Welcome, everybody, to the second charity auction for Ark Institute. Today, we are going to be raising money for raising men and women, lawn care. And first off, I want to introduce you to our host for today, Stan Queen, who is the man with the smile that could be seen from Finland.
Yes, I'm in Finland. Hello, everyone. Good to speak to you.
Welcome, Stan. Welcome, Stan. Good to have you here, buddy.
Good to be here.
All the way from Finland, too. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know how much I can tell you, but it's been a nice trip thus far. And I think I'm going to let you take it from there, Steve. Don't want to throw off what we're here for and who we're here for, because it's not about Stan.
Absolutely correct. But good to have you here anyway, buddy. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you could all join us. Happy to be here. We're happy to be here to do what we're going to do, which is raise some money, get some donations in for Rodney and raising men and women lawn care. We're excited. We can't wait to get started. So without further ado, don't want to keep you waiting. We have a special guest right now. Here he is, Rodney. Say hi, Rodney.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great to have you.
Awesome to have you in the space, buddy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey.
Yep.
Hey, Rodney, can I ask a couple questions, Steve, if it's okay?
Sure.
Rodney?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about your program?
Yeah. So I'm the founder of Raising Men and Women's Lawn Care Service. It started back in 2015. At this time in life, I was in my senior year of college, and I was getting my bachelor's degree in computer science at Alabama A&M University. And I was leaving school one day, and I was driving home, and I came across this elderly man outside mowing his lawn, and it looked like he was struggling. So I did what anyone would do. I pulled over and helped him out. And that's one small act of kindness would eventually change my life forever. That night, I went home on Facebook, and I shared my experience on my Facebook page. And I told people, from this day on, I'm going to start mowing free lawns. So if you know anyone elderly, disabled, a single parent, or veteran in the Huntsville community, let me know, and I'll come by and mow the lawn. And I set a goal out to mow 40 lawns by the end of winter. I thought I could mow 40 lawns in between classes. But I mowed 40 lawns so quick that I'm going to go to 100. A month and a half later, I reached my 100th lawn. And that's when the idea of Raising Men Lawn Care Service came about. And eventually it would turn into Raising Women. But, it was kids locally. Then it gradually got kids across the country and even worldwide starting to mow free lawns through our 50-yard challenge.
What's interesting to me, Rodney, is you said you did what anyone else would do. I don't know that I would agree with you on that one. Not everyone would do that. And I think that's what makes your program so unique.
Yes.
And I think it gives a heart to all that you've done, and probably why it's a whole bunch of us here today to try to support what you're doing and to direct resources towards enabling the sustainment of what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm not quite. Yeah. So if you're doing that, you said Huntsville.
Yes, sir.
Huntsville, Alabama. Haven't been there. I've heard good stories, but I think I could reach out to that guy over there named Greg and say, Greg, did you have anything you wanted to share, like a video of any sort that you wanted to bring in that helps to bring and make reference to and give clarity to what's going on in the program?
Yep. I will start it right now.
Very cool.
Make sure you have gas and oil, pull the string, and keep a straight path. You can leave a lasting impact on someone's life with a simple act of kindness. My simple act of kindness happens to be with a lawnmower. I've traveled across the country multiple times to help people. I've put about 100,000 miles on this car in 2018. By traveling to all 50 states and meeting different people and doing what I love, I realized that there are more good people in America than there are bad, by a huge amount. If you do something good and you get something good in return, and I've seen it. One day in my senior year of college, I was leaving school and I came across this elderly man outside mowing his lawn, and it looked like he was struggling, so I pulled over and helped him out, and that one small act of kindness changed my life forever. I went to Craigslist searching for a secondhand lawnmower, and I wrote the gentleman. I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, "You really gonna do that?" And I told him yes, and he gave me the lawnmower for free. Eventually, we went viral on the internet. Donations came in by the thousands. Raising Men Lawn Care Service is an organization that teaches kids to mow free lawns for those in need in their community. We're hoping to instill a good work ethic in the youth. We're trying to teach them the importance of giving back to the community. The kids are really growing to love the people that they mow for. They too can make a difference. When I was a kid, I had a learning disability. A teacher told me that I would not amount to anything, and at the time, that really hurt me, you can say, but I didn't let that stop me. I grew up to find my true passion in life, and I'm living it out every day and helping people. Every kid has an unlimited amount of potential, and it's just about them tapping that potential to reach the ultimate heights at whatever they want to do. There are many different ways I help people in my community. It's not just with the lawn care. The younger kids that are not able to mow yet, I do bubble races with. And I also started something called Raising Hope, where I raise money each month and give it to families in need. I help the homeless here in Huntsville, Alabama, and even nationwide. I've seen the beauty of America. It's just something about just driving and just being able to think of new ideas and stuff. It's very powerful. Don't believe the rumors that America's a bad place or there's bad people everywhere. I've come across just good people. Some people live in the country, some people live in the city. Everyone's very similar. We're more alike than we are different. The service that we offer is not just a need in Alabama, it's a need in all 50 states, and you see it everywhere I go. My goal is to someday bring this service to every city in America and eventually worldwide.
Wow. Awesome, buddy. I really appreciate that. That was awesome, huh? So I think I'm not the only person who has a lot of questions, but I'm going to throw out a few. And if somebody throws a rock at me through the screen, as I'm all the way over here in Finland, did you know I was all the way over here in Finland, brother?
Show me.
I'm in Finland. Did you know?
Yeah, that's a far way. That's a long way. How is it over there? I heard some good.
It's not about me right now. I got to talk about you, but I'm gonna tell you, it is nice. It's really nice, and as time goes by, I think I'll expand a little bit further on it. But I want to first let you know your teacher was wrong. When you said in your video how you would or wouldn't measure up in her or his standards, and I appreciate all you've done. I'm sort of curious. How did the lawn care trickled into, and by the way, I've heard this new term, unhoused residents or unhoused citizens. How did it trickle into the homeless?
Just by one day just seeing, I think, a homeless man in the community, and I wanted to do something. I knew that this is 2016, 17, and I had a little following, so I thought, hey, what if I, get some people to come out every Saturday to come out with me, and we go in the community and we feed the homeless and meet them, go out there and meet them and find what their needs were. And we done that for, I think, almost a year straight. Every Saturday, we will be out in the community. Some people will make dishes, and then we go and feed them. People will donate sleeping bags, tents, blankets, and stuff like that. I eventually started something called 50 States, 50 Lawns, where I go to all 50 states and mowing. But I also done a 50-state tour where I'll go to all 50 states and I'll meet one homeless person in each state. And this was around Christmas time, and I would dress up as Santa Claus, and I'll just ask them what's one thing they wanted for Christmas, and we will bless them. Some people wanted a nice hot shower, so we will get people were donating, so we will get a hotel room, 3-night stay in a hotel, and they would have a hotel room and a hot shower. Some people wanted to get home for Christmas. I think this guy in mine, he was in North Dakota, and he wanted to get all the way to New York to his family for Christmas, and he was homeless out there, and it was real cool. So people donated, and we got him a bus ticket to travel all the way home. So it was just different stories like that, and just meeting people and each community in each state.
Love it, love it, love it. And the bubbles?
Yeah, bubbles.
Bubbles, I'm bubbling to hear about it.
Yeah. So I saw a bubble moor. I said, hey, what if we can get kids involved? So I asked people to donate these bubble moors, and then I'll start traveling to kids and have little bubble moor races, and then have a starting line and a finish line, and I'll record it, and I'll make sure I win every time. So like the kid was cheating, and I'll dress up as an announcer and stuff like that. Just make it fun experience for the kids, and that was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I love kids, and clearly you love kids. I mean, I'm just curious where you got this passion that allows you to not only help, I guess, that individual life, but actually extends beyond those kids to help those who are the recipients of their being raised as men and women in this lawn care charity approach, a lawn care program.
Yeah, I think it's just the way I was brought up. My parents always told me, help out where I can. And I remember growing up, we would feed the homeless and stuff like that. My mom and dad would say charity starts at home. You got to start washing the dishes around the house and just learn how to give back in the house, and that would eventually trickle out. And then it just instilled in me from a young age.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Steve, I see you over there churning and squirming. What you got, brother?
I'm absolutely amazed, Rodney, with how well you've done over the time since you started, how big you've got, how much you've grown. I was curious, how many kids have you had come through your program so far?
Yeah, so to date, it's almost 5,000 kids. At the current number, it's like 4,900 something. So by the end of maybe next month, it'll be a total of 5,000 kids to come through the whole program. There's a lot of kids that sign up. Some kids sign up and they don't finish. Then you got some kids that sign up and they're hitting the ground running and knocking it right out. But it just depends, because they might sign up with the intentions of finishing, but life happens. They're just kids, and they rely on the parents to get to and from each lawn. And sometimes some things might happen in life. Someone may die, and just stuff happens. So that might stop them from completing the challenge. Then I've seen kids that would start in 2017 and recently just finished. So they have a unlimited time frame they could finish it.
How do I know I'm finished? I mean, what is the indicator that the program has become complete for me? And how do I measure that I've achieved what Rodney wanted me to do, and I'm probably a better person because of it?
Yeah, so for the 50-yard challenge, what we require is, let's say you have a son or daughter that signed up, they'll make a sign saying, I accept the 50-yard challenge. In return, we send them a white Raising Men or Raising Women's t-shirt, and it's kind of set up by the karate system. So every 10 lawns they mow, they got a different color t-shirt, and every lawn that they do, they take a before and after picture, a picture of them in action, and if the homeowner's up to it, a picture with the homeowner. And every time they do that lawn, they will submit it to a number or email, and just like that. So 10 lawns earns an orange shirt, 20 earns a green, 30 a blue, 40 a red, and 50 lawns earns a black. And then once they move 50 lawns, I drive to wherever they are or fly out to international, and I give them a brand new mower, weed eater, and blower for completing this 50-yard challenge. And yeah, so kids across America, and we also had kids in 8 other different countries take part as well.
It's awesome. What are those other 8 countries? Is Finland on the list? You need to tell me.
No, not yet. So we have Canada, Bermuda. I'm originally from the island of Bermuda. So Canada, Bermuda, England, Australia, Japan, Switzerland, South Africa. I'm missing one more place.
It's okay. It's okay. You ran off a good number of them, and I think we're all better for knowing that. That's amazing. It really is amazing. So, while I want to make sure I commend you, I don't want to give you the big head. I want you to know that, it's amazing to hear how God's working through your willingness to allow yourself to reach out to others, and in so doing, enabling other people to achieve things they either didn't conceive or really probably needed to do to minister to other people. I'm curious, Rosemary, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Oh, I just, when this whole thing started, I'm like, I better be careful, you know, I don't want to get all like teared up during this broadcast. But I like that you brought that up, because I've heard Rodney talk before about his faith and how his faith inspires this movement as a mission, you know. And but I just wanted to also let you know, Rodney, that you were on my radar before. You know, Ark Institute hasn't even been around for a year. We kind of conceived it like maybe last November, and then it launched in January. And so but before we ever had Ark Institute, before it even existed, I had a list of charities that I wanted to maybe support. Like, if, you know, if crypto made me rich someday, right? The big dream that we all had. And I was trying to be ready. Like, well, what am I going to do if something happens? You know, I want to do something positive. And you were on my list, Rodney. So before we ever did this, but now we have this. So this is great.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have the, you know, we have some, well, look, there's a lot that'll come out during the whole broadcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks.
So, Rodney, go ahead,
I
Steve.
got just 1 minute. I just got a little bit of information. Greg just called me. Apparently his internet has gone down.
Oh, no.
So he's working at it right now. I'm assuming we're still live.
We are. We're still live right now. I hear you.
Everything's still going. So Greg just said bear with him. He'll get everything back up and running as soon as he can.
Can I tell you guys a funny story that relates to this? So I worked in a movie theater for almost 10 years, and then upstairs from it there was art studios, and I was managing the art studios. And one of the tenants up there was a young guy, and he was going to put on a film festival on his own. You know, he asked for submissions for films from all over the world, like short films. And he got like 1,800 submissions and had to go through all of them. And then in the neighboring town where he had made the arrangements with the movie theater to show all these films, can you imagine all the technical thing that was involved with that, right? So he was going to show not all of them, but with the selections. It was a 3-day festival, and they were setting everything up. And then in the morning, you know, before they were going to start it in the afternoon, they said, well, what do you think? You know, got everything ready to go? He said, yeah. He said, I'm going to go have lunch. He said, everything will be fine as long as the power doesn't go out. And then the power went out. The power went out. They lost a whole day of it. They had to like reschedule. And all the people that made the films were supposed to like be there, like, I mean, online, like available. And of course, then the whole schedule of it from all people all over the world, all got all screwed up. And wasn't that funny?
Well, did you see? I didn't know if Steve. By the way, thank you very much, Rosemary.
Awesome story.
For that moment in the dark moment. But I guess I wanted to ask Steve, did you see that XRPL had a question or two there in the comment section? And it reads as follows. It may be helpful to let everyone know about the donations and how they're different than normal donations. And I wondered, Rodney, if you were aware of that, and if so, what your thoughts are on that, how the donations as it relates to Ark are a bit different. If you wanted to say yes, Rodney, cool. And if not, Steve, if you wanted to expand upon that. I see a finger wagging over there as if it's Mary had a go ahead. Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah. Rodney, we pay you in cryptocurrency, right? That's probably way different to what you normally experience.
Yes.
How have you found your experience so far using XRPL Ledger, the Zum wallet, and Arkcoin, and all its little derivatives that come dribbling into your wallet regularly? How's it been for you?
It's been pretty good. I'm still learning because it's a whole new world. Crypto, I've seen it before you guys introduced me to it. So I'm still learning. You know, it's still a learning process. But I think, you know, this is the way of the future. Crypto, everything's going into that direction. So I think it's just a unique way of, you know, getting donations, because normally, you know, we get donations from our Amazon wish list and stuff like that. But now you guys introduced our organization to crypto. We never had a crypto wallet until, you know, the Ark Institute. So, you know, it's a whole new ball game. You know, opens the world up to so much.
Absolutely. It's really interesting dynamic, the way it kind of works, the way everything happens. And right now, you know, we're in a lull as far as the market goes. So what you see and what we can produce right now is kind of the lowest it's probably going to be. I can't make any promises about nothing, obviously, but as we see markets start to climb again and more adoption of Ark coin and the RES, which is the Reaper economic system, yeah, we're going to see a great improvement, not only in what we can achieve for you guys, but also what we'll be able to achieve for other charities as well. So it's great to have you and the other 4 charities that we have on board piloting this for us. And you know, we can work out little niggles and stuff and what have you. And hopefully you guys are going to be in an absolutely awesome place in the next few years as the economy starts to grow. It's going to be great.
It is.
I could tell you, Rodney, you're not alone when it comes to being new to crypto. I think so many have ventured in, waded in to the whole crypto ecosystem. And in so doing, a lot are amazed at opportunity and the potential for what is really being transformative in our financial system and how we move forward in XRP in particular. And I love what Reaper does. I love what Ark is doing. I'm so excited about the whole process. And I love hearing too that you are educating yourself, because we all need to do that, because I think crypto is going to be, or rather digital assets, etc., as a whole, will be a way in which we live every day. And that wallet that you made reference to tangentially, just really lightly, it is what we all are going to have to hold 1, 2, 3, or 4 of as life goes forward. So if you could tell me about 1 or 2 of the people who were the benefactors of the kids, the lawn mowing service, and how it was sort of really for that person heart changing, and why the program for that person made a difference.
A kid that comes to mind is a kid named Wesley. He lives in Michigan. He signed up probably 2017, 2018. And I remember one of the things when he signed up, his mom was telling me, hey, my son, he's a very shy kid. He's quiet, keeps to himself, and doesn't do much. And I'm just looking for a way to get him involved in the community and getting out and meet people. And so Wesley signed up, and he went out in his community and slowly started to open up more. I know by the end of the 50-yard challenge, his mom told me he was just grew into who he was supposed to become. And I believe today Wesley is about 17, 18, and he might be in his last year of high school, and he's about to go to college soon. But he's opened up. He met so many people. Some of the people that he met were veterans. So he made a lot of connections with the veterans in his community. And I remember his mom telling me that some of the veterans even passed away. And when they passed away, it really affected him, because he grew this relationship with that veteran, and it really affected him. Me, for example, there was a lady by the name of Miss Gibbs here in Huntsville, Alabama. She's one of the first people that I moved for when I started the organization, and she recently passed probably last year or so. And I know that feeling that Wesley had, because when I started moving for Miss Gibbs, we were strangers, but over time we became family, and she treated me as if I was her grandson. She was like an adopted grandmother, because both my grandmothers were passed away. So it was always nice to go into Miss Gibbs' house and mowing her lawn. And after, she'd come outside with some drinks, and we'd talk and chat and really get to know each other over those years. And then I remember getting that message from her daughter saying, she passed away. And I really shed tears that day, because, she was like a grandmother, and we just had that special connection. And there's other people in the community that I had that connection with, but Miss Gibbs is one of those persons who always stand out. And we're starting a scholarship fund for the organization, and I'm going to put it in the memory of her name. So it's going to be Miss Mary Gibbs Scholarship Fund, and kids that come to the organization and they finish the 50-yard challenge, they can earn this scholarship and for the school. But it's people like Miss Gibbs that will never be forgotten.
So Rodney, you're telling me, I'm sitting here, right? And probably in the span of the time we've spoken, we have gone from raising men and women lawn care to another charity, or not a charity, but you're talking about starting this fund for this different group. And even before that, you made reference to 50 state
Yeah.
type. I'm like, these are little offshoots of
Yeah.
what was initially just something that you conceived in your mind, and it is blessing and encouraging so many others. What a privilege it is to be able, I think, just to sit here and talk with you for a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, to contribute, to be able to get people to want to contribute. I see Steve. Steve, what are you getting ready to tell me?
I just wanted to make an observation really on what Rodney's doing with Raising Men and Women Lawn Care, and how it seems to like not only does it get kids off computers out into nature, out and to be doing some physical activities, physical work, and know that they're helping people and helping people who may be struggling and stuff. So it gives them a sense of achieving something themselves, being able to look and go, look what I did for that person, and makes them feel good about themselves. But also it's bringing generations of people together. Because I mean, you go to your neighbor, your elderly neighbor, and you're helping her, and you get to know her. And just as you were saying, telling us that story, Rodney, it's like it really brought some memories back for me from when I was a kid, and going and helping neighbors and chatting with neighbors and stuff. And that type of stuff doesn't happen anymore. And you are absolutely opening the doors up for so many people and bringing so many people together. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's one thing we're finding with a lot of parents. But they're like, oh, I never knew it was such a need in my neighborhood. They're getting out and meeting people they normally wouldn't have met, because we leave it up to the parents and the kids to find the lawns in their community. So it forces them to get out and meet people. Oh, I didn't know my neighbor down the street, but she really needs help, and from now on, I'm gonna start helping them out with different things and stuff like that. And it's getting to get out there and meet people in their community.
Well, there's a Bo on E82 made a comment. Can you see the comments right there, Rodney, or no? I don't know if you can or not. And if you can't, let me tell you what he says. He says, I have to run into work, but I wanted to congratulate Rodney on his successes, and I fully believe Raising Men and Women has a bright future. Amazing how it's touched the world already. And I'm amazed as well. I'm a veteran. You made reference to veterans. I always tell people, oh, you think that's dandruff on my shoulder? That's salt. I've been there, done that, brother. And so that's to say, did 20 years, retired 23 years ago. Time is ticking, but but what's great is there's people such as yourself who are teaching these young children through work ethic building how to minister to, really, because I think of it as a ministry in many respects, what you have going on. While it's a business, it's also ministering. And I see a guy here who just popped back in. It looks like Greg. Anybody else see Greg up in there? He's all smiles because he got his system back on. Hey, Greg, how are you?
I freaked out for a second because when everything stopped for me and I realized my internet went down, I was like, oh no, did the live stream just end?
It didn't.
It's my first time using this, so I wasn't sure, but I'm really thankful it didn't.
We're all doing good. We're all doing good. Thank goodness everything's going well. Awesome.
You made the connection with us. Rodney made the connection with these kids, and we're still connecting, so welcome back. Was there something you wanted to say, Greg, in your absence?
I just wanted to bring Mike up. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
No,
he's muted.
You're muted.
There we go. What's up, everybody? How are you?
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good.
Hi, Mike.
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
To anybody who's not 100% sure, Mike is also Karis. So, just so you can make connections and stuff. Good to have you on board, Mike.
Good to be here. Sorry I'm a little late.
Mike, I'd like for you to speak on exactly what we're trying to do with Ark as far as changing the way that charitable giving works.
Yeah, I think the mission of Ark is very necessary for a variety of reasons. So my background, I started out with kind of a short career on Wall Street. I was 5 years on Wall Street. Then I went the other end of the spectrum and worked for about 10 years as a pastor and managing a nonprofit in New York City. And then now my family and I are down in Dallas. We went through all of COVID in a 1,000 square foot apartment with 4 small children. So we didn't care where we moved. We just had to move somewhere. So here we are. And now, I'm kind of doing a hybrid role where I work with several charities, and then I also do finance or real estate as well. But, the way that charities are structured has to change. And what I mean by that is typically charities will receive donations and then they'll use those funds, but there's no really recurring mechanism with most charities that really allows them a steady stream of income so that they can use their time and energy and devote their time and energy to the actual mission of the organization. In the nonprofit world, so many gifted people. And Rodney, you're awesome. You're amazing. We've never met before, but I love you. You're so gifted and so talented. And the mission that you walk out every day is so important. Not only in the service that it provides for people, but also the way it reminds them that they're important, that they're loved, and they're part of a community. But the fact that we can come behind your mission and support you gives you time and focus that you can devote to your mission instead of fundraising.
Yes.
And I think that's incredibly powerful. And I think that the second reason why it's number one, it creates recurring funding. Number two, it does it in a way that is technologically advanced. So, when I was at the church in New York, we would support missions work in different countries in Africa and Europe and an orphanage in Ethiopia and all these different things all over the world. And, there was so many layers of friction to get money to people. And forget about sending goods or something physical that would be lost in customs or stolen by somebody somewhere along the way. But the fact that you can use XRP or any, a digital currency now to send money instantly, that nobody in border control or customs, depending on the country, can dip their hand in it and take something from the pot, is just completely transformative. So super excited about your mission, Rodney. Super excited that we get to work with you. And I'm really excited to see the way that Ark flourishes and grows.
I love to hear the way you, I guess, summarized everything and really encapsulated the benefits of something that's going to be long-term and not instances, but multiple instances of reoccurrence. That's exciting. What do you think about that, Mr. Rodney?
It's a good thing, because I know a lot of organizations, not just mine, but even friends who I know that run their own nonprofits. They struggle getting recurring donations. I know the struggle because it's real. We're trying to do the work, but sometimes we focus on getting the funds that we need in order to keep up the work. So having this platform, it will help out a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody watching right now is new to Ark Institute or the way that the donations work, but if you buy the Ark token and then by holding it, you're able to vote to designate where funds generated by Ark Institute go. So like right now in this most recent vote, a lot of people voted for Rodney because we're doing this event for him today. So he got a donation, and that donation came from funds that were generated from the sale of the Ark token. And so anybody who holds the Ark token is still holding their holdings. But what we're doing today is all of the bids in the auction today that are made in our Ark token go directly to Rodney's wallet. And the goal is to get Rodney a bag of Ark token, a portfolio of the Ark token, so that in the future he can vote for himself, vote to fund himself in every vote. Right now, the votes are every 2 weeks. And so every 2 weeks rolls around, he takes the voting power of his holdings and he votes for himself off that list of, right now it's 5 charities. So he votes for himself, and then he gets the benefit of holding the token, even though other people are voting for him or whoever too. Mm-hmm. But we did this for Battle Dogs before, and we're doing it for Rodney now. And it's just, it's just the very beginning of something really exciting. It's really exciting that you're one of the first people that ever did this, because I think in the future it's going to be the most widespread common thing. But right now, this is the very inception. It's the very inception. So great place to be.
That's awesome, Rosemary. Well described and well said. That's great. Really good job. It might be an idea I've just seen in the comments there. If we put up the QR code, if we can, for Rodney, and let people take snapshots of that if they need to, and we'll pop it up every now and again throughout the show. Maybe we can stick it in the corner at some point in time. And
I'll bring it back up every time we're done auctioning an item off.
Yep. And with the should we put our first auction item up? Do you think it's probably everyone's been waiting for 40 minutes? So should we do our first item?
Yep. What do we want to do first?
Let's go with a Reaper card. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have that one on the list. Let me grab it real quick.
Okay, no worries. A lot of people will already know what the Reaper cup looks like. The Reaper coffee cup. It's a pretty neat, beautiful little item. I own one. A few of us on here own them. Drink my coffee from it every morning on the way to work.
Yeah. Hey, so Mike, where are you now? Can I ask?
Yeah, we're in Dallas area. We're just north of Dallas in a town called Flower Mound.
Flower Mound. I had not heard of
Flower
that.
Mound, Texas. Yeah, it's very hot. It's about 107 degrees today. It's been this way for about 45 days. So
way cool.
I'll take it over the cold.
All right, so how are we going to do this auctioning right now, Steve?
Well, that's if Greg's going to put the picture up. Oh, I might so yeah. Greg's going to put the picture up now, and then people can take a look at what they're going to be bidding on, and we're just going to take the highest bidder. Whoever wants to throw a bid out, let's do it, and the highest bidder will get the item. Once the item, once we reach the highest bidder, or once we get up there, we'll do a count out of like, okay, you got 1 more minute to put another bid in, or this one gets it, and then people will take a snapshot or enter Rodney's wallet address, or take the QR code, and then they will send that Ark token that they have directly to Rodney's wallet, and we will be able to see that happen on XRP. Forgetting what it's called now. It's XRP scan. That's right.
Yes.
And then we can see that go in as soon as it's gone in. That person will then be the owner of the Reaper mug in this case, or the whatever the next item is that we bring up. And then we will take they can DM me, and I'll take their address, and we'll get it mailed off to them ASAP.
Well, can I add in here while they're bidding, because they are, and I'm looking at the numbers roll. It says here that raising, and this is from Tiara, and I want you to hear, Rodney, because you said you can't see it. And that says that raising men and women is truly an amazing charity that is inspiring young people to give back to their communities and build excellence and work ethics. Congratulations, you, Rodney. And I wanted to continue on. It says Men and Women's Lawn Care was one of the first in Ark's initial launch. And so it says, is asking, how do you feel to know that the charity passed such high standards to be able to be recognized within Ark Institute and to be afforded this opportunity?
We're very grateful for this opportunity. One thing that I learned a long time ago was you never know who's watching in the audience. I'm here just doing the work, and you guys said you were watching the organization and just love what we were doing. So that's one thing I learned. You just never know who's watching. You just never know who's watching.
Rodney, truth bomb.
I love it.
That's awesome. I love that. So sweet.
But yeah, that's one thing. I'm honored for the opportunity, because I try to tell kids when I was younger, I dislike mowing lawns. I hated it. Growing up, my mom and dad couldn't get me to. I would rather wash dishes than go outside and mow lawns. And it's crazy because for me, God plays a huge part, but God took something I dislike and turned it into something I now love to do, and I get to do it every single day. And it's kind of funny. I'm not sure if you guys know this part. I'm originally from the island of Bermuda. I left Bermuda at the age of 16 years old to attend a boarding school upstate New York in a town called Amenia for kids with learning disabilities. And I was there for about 2 years, and those are the best 2 years of my life. I would never change it for anything. And that's what kind of led me to where I am today, because I left that boarding school and I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida to attend ITT Tech because I thought I wanted to do something with computers. And I was there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in a small little apartment by myself. And I was there for about 6 months, and I hated it. And I just remember one night just asking God to use me as his vessel. I'm not sure what made me just pray, because I was never really a strong religious person. But something just told me pray that night. And that's crying, and I asked God to use me as his vessel. And he didn't give me an answer that day, not a month later, not even a year later. It will happen a few years later. And at this point in life, that's when I was in Huntsville, Alabama, coming across that elderly man. And I realized those years that passed, God was preparing me for this one moment, and that one moment would end up changing my life forever. And here we are today. And, it's just amazing how everything works out.
That's pretty awesome. That's an awesome testimony, quite honestly. And I heard Mike talk a little earlier about his being previously in a pastoral role, and I believe it says that God causes all things to work together for good. So he took what was your dislike, turned it around, and made it something that was ultimately to his glory and benefiting so many other people. Yeah. Impressive once again. And I'm gonna give God the credit on that one, brother. I just gotta tell you that. Yeah. How are we doing on that auction? I think those numbers are rolling in case you can't see it there right now. I'm looking at it.
We've got 10,000 from one of our architects called Local Feeder. He can't be with us today. Before the auction started, he put in vote by proxy, saying that he wants to put a base of 10,000 Ark on every item, and then on the very, very special, super duper special, secret super special item that we have right at the end, he wants to put a bid of 40,000 on. So that's where we're at right now. So 10,000 is the starting bid for every item, and 40,000 on the super duper special item.
Whatever that looks like. That's awesome.
I'm actually really excited to announce that last item. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
So we sort of have to, is that like a tease, Greg? You're trying to make everyone hold on for that last item?
I would never do something like that.
Okay. That's great.
Fake news.
So
that's awesome. I got a question for you, Rodney, real quick. With regard to expansion of raising men and women lawn care, it seems that you do most of everything yourself. You drive everywhere, you go everywhere, you do everything. It's the personal touch. Is there going to come a time when you get to a certain size or whatever that you're going to have to take on help and assistance? And will that possibly be some of the first kids that ended up doing it with you who are now older?
Yeah, that's a good question. Eventually, I'm gonna have to take the founders, I guess, CEO role, and I still want to mow lawns. So that's something I have. I just love doing it. It's therapeutic. But eventually, have some kids be delivering stuff on organizations' behalf. Eventually, right now, like you said, I do all the driving everywhere. Just like yesterday, both of the vehicles need new transmissions, so I drive everywhere. They have 200,000 miles on both of the vehicles. Yeah, I drive everywhere, but eventually we would like to have people, step into place and start delivering for the organization. The way I see the organization is it's a much needed service. So eventually I want to start chapters in all 50 states. I seen it being like a big brother, big sister organization, and just have people across the country and even worldwide just represent the organization. And just growing it, because there's only so much I can do. So I have to build a team to help me bring that to reality.
Gotcha. That sounds pretty cool. it'd be awesome if in a few years' time or whatever, as the kids get older, some of them will join you in the charity. That would be awesome. Yeah, what a story that'd be.
Yeah.
How are we doing on our bids? We've had a bid of 10. We've had another one of 12. Now we've had 4. Oh, we're up to 15,000 ARK now for the Reaper mug, and that is from Muddy Paws.
Muddy Paws wants that mug.
Muddy Paws does want that mug. Yep, for sure.
Everyone's remembering that all these proceeds do go to a great charity. So,
Shall we put a countdown on this item? What do you think? Let's do say 2 minutes from now. If Muddy Paws can hold on. It's going once. Ooh.
Greg can't wait 2 minutes.
I know.
We've got a lot.
Can I ask you a question, Rodney? And that is, how does this affect your daily living? Which is, how does this? What's the day like for you? Because I'm trying to envision it based on what I understand.
So this is what I do every single day. I love it. I get the chance to wake up, do something I love every single day. So every day I'm out mowing lawns. If it's not raining, when it's cold in the winter, I have a hoodie on and I'm raking leaves or mulching leaves, or I'm visiting kids. But it's every single day I'm out mowing lawns or doing something with the organization. Like right now I'm in the office. We recently got an office spot for the organization where we're housing all the T-shirts. So if it's raining outside, I'll be here pre-packaging T-shirts, and this is what I do. Love what I do. So this is my life, my life's work, my life's mission.
24/7, Rodney. 24/7, right?
Yeah.
365.
Yeah.
Oh, Muddy Paws
Muddy
coming
Paws.
through. Let's go.
Muddy Paws is for real, because it went going once, going twice, and then it went up to 16K. That's correct. And it says, Muddy, you're bidding against yourself. Muddy's on it.
He's happy.
He is happy about it. And the cool thing is, most importantly, it goes to a good purpose. It goes to a good cause.
Yeah, JTXRP has put a question up for Rodney, and he's asking, does Rodney have repeat donors, and do they know about ARK?
I think we have some recurring donors on the platform, the Give donation. That's where most of our donations come to on the website.
Yes.
So there's some repeat donors. I believe I've been sharing on Twitter. I think most of our followers come from Twitter, so they have seen ARK and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if any of them following. So, yeah.
Okay. Roger that. And can I ask you, Rodney, are the parents, because you're quite engaged with parents, it sounds like, are they reaching out to you initially, or I'll let you tell me, how's that happen?
Yeah, so for the 50-yard challenge, every once in a while I make a post about the 50-yard challenge and how parents can sign their kids up. So there are people that share that post, and grandparents see it, aunties, uncles see it, or even the parents themselves will see it and sign their kids up that way. Or someone say, hey Sally, look at this. Aren't your kids about this age? They can sign up for that. And people just share it that way. But parents are reaching out, and they're the ones that sign their child up when it comes to the 50-yard challenge.
Very cool. Greg, did you want to share anything about that item auction?
Oh, it's a mute.
It has sold. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's correct. He can't see it. I don't think
Muddy Paws has it. So well done, Muddy. Great job for you. You're gonna have fun drinking from that every morning. If you could take a snapshot or what have you of Rodney's wallet address when Greg puts it up, and send that ARK across, and there's the address for you.
Yeah.
And then if when you send that over, Muddy, if you could just put in the comments section of the wallet address of the donations in the memo that it's from Muddy, that'd be great. Thanks, buddy.
And
Hey, Steve,
just in case anybody's not familiar, the way that you use this QR code is you open up your XM wallet, and then there's going to be a big button in the bottom center of your screen once your wallet's open, and you use that to scan this QR code, and then it'll populate the address for you so you can send the donation.
Awesome. Awesome. Steve, there was a part 2 to JT XRP's question, and he was asking Rodney, and Rodney, I'll direct it towards you, as to whether or not any of your donors are familiar with ARK, and potentially, if not, maybe something to consider so that they can lend to your increased donations down the line.
Yeah, so I think some may know of ARK from me sharing it on Twitter. If not, I can always share it again and make them aware of it so they can get used to it, because it's the way of the future. ARK is the way of the future.
Hey, can you put that QR code back up there for a minute? It takes a second to get the wallet.
Okay, very cool. So here I am. I'm going to take this and tell you a little bit about where I am over here in Finland. I'm over in an area called Lovisa. I have come over here for a little family vacay. I was privileged to be asked to join you guys tonight. Thank you very much, Mr. Greg. And I told Greg, I said, Greg, dude, I am going to be traveling abroad when that date comes up. And so he goes, yeah, go ahead. So what does that mean? He sort of was basically saying, your point is.
I said, you finished?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm 7 hours ahead of you, Greg. What time does this start? And so then he told me, well, I think we're going to start around 4. I said, oh, it's only 11 p.m. Sounds good to me. And so it's true. So what is it? Yeah, it's almost midnight over here. And that's good. I mean, it's definitely for a worthy cause. And I'll catch up on my rest. I just wanted to make sure that it was an opportunity to come and meet the guy who I had heard so much about through everything that Greg had shared, and also even Patrick and Steve. I love Steve, by the way. Steve, yeah, we'd all connected over there in Vegas some time ago. It was great, XRP. And so now here we are seeing XRP do some amazing things for you.
Happy days. So, yeah, I think it might be an idea to throw up our next auction item while we are having a little chat and stuff. So what do you think, Greg? Do you think we do an NFT next, or shall we do a Rodney item? I think a Rodney item might be good. How about a cap or something?
Let's do a cap. Oh, yeah, I like the cap.
Yeah, cap's pretty sweet. It's a bit of a beauty. Look at that baby. Whoa. Baseball cap, raising men and women lawn care. Camo.
What brings to be the camo theme, if I can ask?
Now remember, we're looking at 10,000. ARK is the first bid, and that is from local feeder. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. Why the camo theme there, Mr. Rodney?
I just love, I love the camo look, and I want to do something for veterans, for when kids go out and mow the lawns, veterans and also active service members. One thing I try to instill in kids is, we have to take care of the veterans and the active duty service members. They're serving the country, so the least we can do is take care of their home, when they're not home or if they're busy taking care of the country. So, yeah.
In today's time, I think there is a bit of a trivialization in the youth's minds of the role the military plays. So you're doing that, I think, is very positive and very helpful, because I don't think there's an association with country, freedoms, privilege, opportunity, and just surviving. I think it's pretty amazing. So thank you for doing that. I can speak for that.
And thank you for your service again. A lot of kids don't realize America is the only place where you can go from nothing and become something. Like I said, I'm from the island of Bermuda. What I'm doing, I couldn't do it in Bermuda. I probably can, but not to the level what I'm doing it now. But in America, you can like I said, go from nothing and become something. You can do whatever you want to. You have the freedom to think how you want to think. You can just the land of the free and the home of the brave. So that's what I try to instill into kids. I was telling you earlier about my 50 state tours. I travel to all 50 states. I drive to 48 and I fly to Alaska and Hawaii. And I've done one tour. I've done it 15 times in total. But one of my 50 state moving tours were for veterans and active duty service members. Just going on to all 50 states and finding one in each state from a different branch and just thanking them for the service. So I do things like that. I've done a 50 state moving tour for police officers. I'm about to do my 16th 50 state tour in September for first responders. I'll be going to all 50 states and thanking police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and nurses, doctors for their service. So I think it's important to highlight, people that serve the country.
I agree with you. I think everyone.
Rodney, truth bomb.
That truth bomb, because sometimes many of us can take for granted the slogan or the logo that you might see on outside of a building or of a base that says freedom isn't free, and it's not. It comes at a cost, and a lot of people have paid it, and a lot of people go out of their doors every single day to sustain the freedoms that we take for granted or don't appreciate. And you're right about the opportunities that exist in this great land in which we live. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact it's a privilege to be a citizen of this nation. And I think everyone does what you just stated and how you reach out specifically to those civic and military individuals.
Well, and I was just thinking too that it's great that the kids are learning, the foundation of leadership skills through taking initiative in this program and working independently and reaching out and communicating on their own with their neighbors. But also for you to be reaching out to law enforcement and veterans are people with leadership skills that have had leadership skills in their life, and you need more people on your team with leadership skills. So those are great people to connect with, because who knows what could come of that. It's just like a triple. That's one here. I meant to say this before. I want to say this to you, Rodney, and I'm sure everybody says this to you, but one of the things I like best about your organization is that you really prove what one person can do working on their own, and not just you, but each kid too. They're working individually. They're making a difference as an individual. And I think that one of the things that's happening in society today, in my lifetime, and also like where I was living on the West Coast before, is kind of this idea that like we all have to work together, like nothing's going to happen until we all do it together. Like we all have to be on the same page. Everybody has to do it or nothing good will happen. But that's not true. If one person working on their own, like you can't even get everybody to do it. So then it's like a setup. It's like kind of a psyop to go, well, if everybody has to do it or it won't work, then you failed before you start, because everybody isn't going to do it. Like that's not how the world works, right? So, but if one person does it and then the people that want to do it, then you got a bunch of people that want to do it working together, and that's great. But I think that was the appeal of your organization to me, was it was your idea and you just went and did it. You didn't need a bunch of people to have everybody do it, and those kids, they decided to do it independently. They did it because they wanted to, right? Like nobody is making them. It's really cool.
Thank
you. How are we doing on that auction? Oh, look, we've sold it. Looks like Mike has bought himself a awesome Raisin Man's cap. Sweet.
Nice. It's a good segue, because I was going to ask you, Mike, how do you see digital assets, digital currency playing a role on a wider scale in the charitable community, in the community where charities exist?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge for charity. I think it's huge for remittance. I think it just makes the world a smaller place in terms of our ability to send money to support causes that we really feel strongly about. If you can, we're really walking into a world where you can send a peer-to-peer payment to anybody you want for whatever reason you want, and it doesn't have to go through PayPal or another organization that can freeze funds. If I like what Rodney's doing, I can send him money. And I think that's very powerful. I think it removes a lot of friction. And obviously we all, part of why most of us are here is because we're frustrated at the different layers of friction that exist in the current financial system. And we want to be part of a new and emerging system where there isn't so much friction and other people don't have control over what you can send to whom and why. And I think that's very powerful for charities.
Right. My brother-in-law here in Finland, businessman, sold a couple of companies, has done really well for himself. And as we speak, he's semi-retired, but not fully. So he still works and does a lot of things from a consulting standpoint. But he had not really thought about the role of digital currency and its potential here. He seems sort of surprised by me making reference to that as a potential way of remittance and payments, as I know what his company does. And he just says, he sort of looked at me a little curious. So I think there is a whole lot more of educational opportunities that exist for societies, as you stated as well. I mean, Rodney, I was feeling the same way about myself. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. And I feel like people like Mike are going to be tasked with helping us to be more informed as time goes by.
And you have, that's what's commendable about you, Rodney, is that you with digital currency, you have to use it to understand it. You can read about it all day, but once you start using it, you realize how simple it is.
Yes.
And I think the charities that adopt it quickly are going to be huge beneficiaries of that reality.
Hey, speaking of which, do we have a couple of graphics that show what Ark Institute has managed to achieve so far? We've got one with the total donations to Rodney so far. That doesn't even count what happened today. Yeah, and then there's another that, look at that. That's just, you guys, like I said earlier in the stream, Ark Institute was conceived last fall, like around November. And then we didn't actually launch with our first vote and deluge until January of this year, January 2023. So here we are, however many months into the year. And this is what we've managed to achieve with, there's not that many token holders. There's not that, the market cap is really small. And what we've already managed to achieve with just a small team of people and just, a focus on, we're smart to not keep adding charities. We just have a small group. We didn't want to dilute the donations. But look at these totals. I mean, this is really interesting that something can come about in such a short amount of time with new technology and a new application of the technology. It's a very innovative program. It's a very innovative idea. Nothing like this has ever been done before. And so we've managed to donate we have 5 charities now, but most of this was with 4 charities. Almost $15,000 went out from Ark Institute. And at the same time that we were making those donations to charities, the Ark token holder benefited by the same amount, the total of almost $15,000 that was distributed to wallets in the form of Ascension token and the Reaper RPR token. And both of those tokens that are dropped to Ark token holders pay passive income. They pay, is somebody whistling or is that? Anyway, the Ark token holder receives receives RPR, and the RPR pays in XRP, and then that's going to soon have additional benefits. And then the Ascension pays all kinds of benefits and new benefits coming. Like all these programs for when you hold these tokens are growing fast. And we also had a previous auction this year, earlier in the year. We had one for Battle Dogs, and we raised for them $11,000. So let's get going. Let's knock that number out of the water for Rodney, okay? Let's show him how it's done here. Let's bid.
Yeah, Rosemary, I want to add to that too. One of the things that's so powerful about this mechanism is that there's zero sacrifice on the part of the ecosystem participants. So everybody who's voting every 2 weeks, they don't have to give up any of the cryptocurrency they hold in order to vote. It's this beautiful, and all the credit goes to Patrick Riley, the founder of Reaper Financial, but this beautiful mechanism that's been created where, these proceeds are generated by the token being sold into the open market. And then other people they step in and they meet that supply because they want to do good while doing well, and they want to help other organizations and also build a nest egg for themselves. So this model where, hey, I like so and so's cause and I'm going to send them $20. It doesn't have to be that way. You can vote and you can generate income for charities through ARK, and then essentially you don't have to give anything up. And obviously the auctions are a little different since we're sending our ARK tokens, but that's what's so beautiful to me about this mechanism. And it's low impact. And then the other thing I like about it is, Rodney's here with us today, but apart from a few hours of his time, he didn't have to do any work to generate that income. So it allows him, it allows all the different organizations we support, just to focus 100% on their mission. There are people all over the world who are doing really, really good work. A lot of people have great ideas, but they just need money. Money is what makes the world turn. They need money to put their ideas into action. So anything that we can do to come behind those causes, I personally believe that's the most powerful way to get good done, is supporting people like Rodney who are already doing the work and just giving them the means to do it.
Well, and I think it's really great that you made the point that the people who are they're participants, they're active participants in the voting system. They're holding the token and they're active participants. They're building the system just by being in it and voting. They're not making a sacrifice. In fact, they're benefiting from it. And so in a way, that's part of the whole Reaper ecosystem, like philosophy and mechanism, is that we can all gain and build together, and nobody has to be pauperized, or we don't have to, I don't know how to put it. It's just that everybody wins. Let's put it that way. In the Reaper ecosystem, everybody wins.
Absolutely, well said, guys. You guys did awesome. Greg, can you do us a favor and put the QR code up for Rodney again so we can get some donations in? And I see that it looks like our next item there too. Ark Institute's NFT number 3. That's a beauty. These were made by Rich, Crypto Bacon Bits, and what an awesome job he did of these. They're wonderful.
So the reason I wanted to go to here next is so that everybody can get a better understanding of how our NFTs are working. And also it gives me the perfect opportunity to do this.
Rich.
Welcome, Rich.
Welcome.
Hey, Richie.
This is the man who does artwork and created all these beautiful NFTs. Nice to have you here, buddy.
You got to unmute yourself.
You're muted, bud.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
We can.
All right. It's good to see you, everybody. Good to see you, Rodney.
How you doing, man? Yeah, like I said in the message yesterday, the graphics are beautiful. It looks like so clean and heavenly. I love that look on them, man. It's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, man. I struggled a bit. I was like, man, mowing the grass. How am I going to do that one? So to make it cool, I stuck you in a bunch of them. So that helped.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I'm
beautiful.
glad you like them. Well, thank you.
We've got some cool bids coming in now too. We've had an 11 and a 15 and an 18. We're on 18 right now with Christopher is bidding on that number 3 NFT. Cool. That's 18,000 Ark. Right. Do we have any advance on 18? These guys are going to have some wonderful utility. They're going to be bringing you in plenty. Anybody who owns them. Going to make your money back tenfold, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. We got a 20.
Rosemary's got a 20. Christoph's gone 23. Any advance on 23? JT, you slow there, mate. 19. Gotta be's up to 30.
Hey, Rich, while those numbers are rolling, can I ask a question? When we spoke the other day, you told me about those bubbles, because we were like, man, where'd you get those bubbles from, and how you incorporated that into telling your story. You really layered in so many themes that spoke holistically of what Rodney's program is doing. How'd you come up with all that?
Well, Rodney, yeah, man, Rodney is it's pretty magical what you're doing. That video with the kid and the bubble mower, and the little girls with the bubble races and all. That was that was pretty inspiring. So I had to figure something out to kind of capture the magic of that. The kids, I mean, they're the closest thing to God, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're new. They just got here, and we got people out there that would love to corrupt them, and then we got a host of people that would love to help them along and develop them, and just make them into to great stewards of the world. And I think that's where we're headed. This program that that you got going on here is pretty magical. The people that are latched on, these kids. I mean, so many of our kids today, they get so much grief about them not paying attention, or they don't care. And I think this just kind of exposes that these kids, they're willing to put their feet to the fire, get out there, put in some effort and help their community. That's fantastic.
And it's amazing to hear your thought process behind coming up with this, and it's just beautiful,
And you see the wings, you see the wings on it as well. So it was just a uplifting type of visual. Because for me, the bubbles, when I saw the bubbles and coming out in the video that preceded or soon after you spoke at the initial starting of this today, and you get to see the video and you see all the bubbles shooting outside, you realize that he really did, Rodney really did pull in to this just love. It's just full of love, and it's full of an awareness and attention and attentiveness to what Rodney's program is all about. Again, thank you, buddy. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, this actual NFT here is probably my wife's favorite. She loves this one, and then there's another one later on if you guys see it with an angel that's looking on in a raindrop with somebody mowing some grass, and this is a pretty powerful one for her. She liked it.
Well,
Yeah,
and quite a few other people bidding, and they like it too.
Stan, you asked earlier, how does this kind of digital ecosystem help charities and change the work of charities? And I think this is a perfect example, right? You have someone very talented like Rich, who has inspiration and ideas, and he can come alongside an organization like Raising Men and Women and provide beautiful artwork. And you have this amazing tapestry now of people coming together, connected digitally. I wouldn't know any of you if it weren't for this community and for Reaper Financial, yet here we are. Yeah. And all contributing in our different ways and bringing our talents to the table. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to behold.
It is. I concur.
Yeah, I saw Rich's artwork on Twitter, a long time ago before he joined Ark, and we were talking behind the scenes about his work, just about digital art, because digital art was kind of new to me. I have a formal art education background. I have a BFA from a zillion years ago. And so but the digital art, I never really thought about it before, and then all of a sudden here's somebody like doing digital art, and I'm like, the way you're doing it, I kind of get it. Like, I kind of can see it now. Like, I could understand better, like, the potential of it. And so we were talking about just the art, and it's great how, that this can be all work together. So it's, wow. I mean, this is so new. It's hard to put it all into words, how things relate to each other.
And Rich, your picture just really depicts what the entire theme and the entire mission and the program is about. I just love it. And, even down to the lawnmower and the size of person, because everyone's involved. Mom, dad, the kids, and the lawnmower. And I just thought it was well done, buddy. Love it.
Well, that image inside the bubble is depicted off of Rodney's logo for Raising Women, and it just kind of fit. I thought that was pretty good. So
still there.
We kind of put it in there. I appreciate what Mike said. That was very kind. You too, Rosemary. I mean, this whole group got together, and it's just a group of people heartfelt want to see that people that need help get help, and people that do good, they get good things, pointed in their direction. And I'm happy to be here, happy to be a part of a lot of great people. So constantly learning, constantly growing, and a great opportunity.
Excellent, excellent.
Well, we got a highest bid there right now, 67,000 Ark coins from Christopher. It's going once, and and Hoffa's just jumped up to 70,000. We are moving.
Let's go.
We got some comments in there about the utility. We posted the utility of the NFTs in there. They all have points. Each one of these has 2 points. After the 10th one is sold, and the points, the funds are distributed through the quantity of points that you have. And I think we do have some caveats in there for future ARC events where, if you have it, it gets you in. I don't think we've decided whether or not it's just single person or if it's a +1. So can you elaborate on that there, Greg?
Yep. So once all 10 of the NFTs in the series are sold, I take all of that money and 25% of it goes to Rich, who did the beautiful artwork, and then the other 75% are split amongst the NFT holders based on how many NFT points you have. So basically, that means the earlier you get in on an NFT, the more you'll make from that NFT down the road. And I was actually going to see if you wanted to, Rich, while we're still having a bidding war, you wanted to maybe present something to Rodney.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is not just for me. This is from the whole group, and I think it kind of, the ideas that were kind of put forward as far as wanting to do something special for you, kind of got together, and there's something magical about the 4th of July picture that you have with the flags and being born on the 4th of July, and just really your appreciation for being here in America, the United States. And I was listening a little bit about what you said about your opportunities, to be able to do what you're doing here in this country is immense. And I think a lot of people kind of look past that. But yeah, this is still the land of opportunity. I think it is. You definitely have to rely on, your resources. And nobody gets anywhere by themselves, but you've done a great job. So if he wants to post it, you want to post it, Greg, and check that out.
This is beautiful. Wow. I like that.
Awesome, Rich. That's gorgeous.
It is. It is.
Thank you.
I like the background. It looks like it's. I can't. Yeah, that background really stands out. It's like a painting. It's like that oil painting kind of. The grass. It's beautiful.
It's very 3-dimensional, isn't it?
Yeah, and then got the angel. Is that the angel in the background or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Yep. And the bubble. I love the bubble. The bubble is real cool.
Well, I'm glad you like it, man. That one's all yours, my friend.
Thank you. This is beautiful.
Yep. So actually, this time we didn't have 10 NFTs. We had 11, but one of them we're just gifting to you.
Thank you.
We were talking about it and what would make the best photo he can make for you, and that's kind of what came into our minds, and then he perfected it. Yeah,
he did. It's real talent. I mean, I wish I can, jot down ideas with, being an artist, but I'm not that talented. But I'm just a lawnmower, man.
You're talented in so many ways, Rodney. So many ways, buddy. This is going good. We've got Hoff on 88,000 right now. Have we got to go and once on that one, Greg?
Do now.
And we could also do with getting up the QR code and Rodney's wallet address. And just so everyone knows, you do not have to bid on an item in order to donate to Rodney. You can just snap that QR code with your Zoom wallet and send whatever amount of ARK you wish to send to Rodney at any point in time. Just snap that when it comes up. We got 88,000 going once. We'll get that QR code up in a minute, and and then everyone can do whatever they want with regard to sending some money through to Rodney. Every little bit counts, remember. Oh, Christoph's gone up to 90,000. Look at that.
Love it.
Can we make the 100? Whoa. But you know you're going to get your money back tenfold anyway on these things. They always, it seems to be the case with buying these NFTs. I keep forgetting to turn my mic off, so my kids are probably coming across, sitting there playing in the living room.
You want to show the NFT that we're bidding on again? This one. Beautiful.
We got 100.
Off says 100. Yep.
Off
Thank you
came to
very much.
play.
Off,
Love
look
it.
at you.
Hey, Rodney, I have a question for
Sure.
you. When did you decide to go full time with raising men and women? And can you tell us, because I'm sure there are a lot of people in this community who have a vision for something they feel like they're supposed to do with their life, a purpose, a mission.
Yeah.
How did that transition work to, hey, here's an idea in my head of what I want to do versus, you know what, I'm actually going to do this thing. And what was it like for you to put all those kind of the concerns that we deal with? Where's money going to come from? Where am I going to stay? What am I going to eat? If I really go into this, how am I going to provide? What did you do with those concerns, and how did you navigate that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, started the organization. I was still in my senior year of college when the organization was, just getting started. So I said, hey, my true purpose in life is helping people. So I'm going to go back and get a master's in social work. So I went from computer science to social work, and I got my master's in social work, and I just grinded it out. I didn't know how things were going to happen. I didn't know how donations were going to come in. I just believe in just doing the work and just use social media as a tool. So every loan I would do, I would post it, and people would share it, and people would donate that way. I just took a leap of faith, for real, and that's how everything just fell. Then once you keep doing it, and people share it, and then the local news catches on, and then after the local news, you get national news. So once we got on the national scale, they were sharing about the organization, and that's how kids across the country started taking part in it, and it just started to grow. And then once COVID hit, a lot of kids were home from school. Before COVID, we had a few kids. We didn't have a lot of kids, probably a few hundred kids. But once COVID hit, a lot of kids were home from school, so they needed something to do, and that's when we just saw it. And that around the time, a lot of people started donating because they're looking for different organizations to donate to, and it just grew. So I just took a leap of faith. I didn't know what I was doing. I just, sometimes you're saying, for example, you have to get to Oregon. Some people need to write out a whole plan, but for me, hey, if I need to get to Oregon, I'm gonna start walking, and then everything will fall into place. It's not gonna always happen like that with everyone, but for me, I just started. People come to me saying all the time, I want to do what you're doing. How do I do it? It's not rocket science. If you want to mow, if you want to do what I'm doing, just get a lawnmower and just start doing it. You don't need to have a complete plan for something like this. You just start, and like for my instance, it just fell into place eventually, and I just took a leap of faith, and here we are today, and it's still growing. There's things that we need to work on and improve, but just need to do the work, and everything will fall into place.
Rodney, truth bomb.
Hey, Rodney, what are a couple of those things you feel like you need to work on, and maybe we could help you with?
Yeah, so like I do mostly everything myself. So eventually I need to get, a secretary or somebody that answers back on the emails and stuff like that, because I'm out moving, I'm getting calls, I'm getting emails, and when I'm answering those messages, it takes away from that lawn. So I'm at that lawn a little longer than I should be. Just stuff like that. Different ways to get. I talked to someone yesterday about different ways when parents submit the loans. We like to have something online where when they submit a loan, like everything's on the internet instead of just coming to the number or the email. we're trying to come up with a system where they can. We're trying to come up with a system where they can upload the before and after picture, the picture of them in action, and the picture with the homeowner onto a platform, and then it shows them their progress. I believe it's important for kids to see the progress. If they see the progress, they can see where they are, and it will encourage them to finish the 50-yard challenge. I was talking to someone yesterday as well. Is want to make it competitive for the kids. You know, a lot of these kids, they're in sports. So what better way than to make this a fun challenge for the kids? So let's say there's kids in the West Coast, you got the kids in the Midwest, the kids in the South, and you got the kids on the East Coast. Let's break it up into sections and make it like a conference. So if you sign up in California, you're underneath the West Coast. You sign up in Alabama, you sign up in the Central, you sign up in New York. And then once you submit a lawn, it shows a leaderboard and stuff like that. So just make it real fun and competitive. Hey, Mom, little Johnny's beating me. I need to submit more lawns, and just, you know, just different things like that, just to make it fun for the kids.
I mean, your creativity is amazing. I mean, just to sit here and listen to the way in which you envision it and watching you bring it to fruition is amazing.
And seeing it like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. One of the things I did in the past that I wanted to bring back is in the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they earn different badges for different things. So for us, instead of earning badges, they can earn different T-shirts. So we'll have special T-shirts for like good grades in school or helping veterans or different. You know, you mow 10 lawns for veterans, you got a special veteran T-shirt or military T-shirt, and doing different things like that will get kids involved in the program, and they want to do more so they can earn more and just make it fun for kids.
Very awesome. You know, I'll be honest, when you started talking earlier about the colors of the T-shirts, military guy, I started thinking about the ribbons, you know, we wore, and how those different color ribbons, in no way am I trying to take away from those veterans here. I'm just saying, though, that those were indicators and or measures of accomplishments and or skirmishes that they ran into. And I like your approach to suggesting that kind of way of indicating a different level of success or something is it's just, I think it's really creative and innovative.
Thank you. And, you know, we like to see also the organization as it grows, we can put it into schools. A lot of seniors in high school are required to do community service. So what better way than to getting involved in a program like our 50-yard challenge, and they're getting out the mowing free lawns, and at the end they're earning brand new lawn equipment. And one thing I didn't realize at the start of the organization, once kids complete the 50-yard challenge, they're taking this equipment and they're starting businesses. So we're also creating entrepreneurs in a way as well. And they will start a business with the free equipment, but they're still also mowing free lawns for those in need, you know. So I didn't realize that at first, then I caught on to what some of the kids were doing. So that's another beautiful thing.
That is pretty cool. I think it's awesome.
That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love it. Really going good. This last item that we just auctioned off was the winner was Death from Above with 101,000 Ark. And here is that QR code up again. I am still waiting. If you are there and you want to send through your donation as soon as you get a chance, that'd be awesome. And anybody who is sending through donations, go right ahead, do so. Anybody who's winning any bids, please send your donation through. Take that QR code, send the donation through, and I will log it down. If you could also put in the memo, just stick your name on, that'd be great. Help us keep tabs on things. And let's go on with the next one. What do you think, Greg?
Oh, here we go.
Reaper coin time.
Greg, who was the hand model for this?
That was me.
Very nice.
Yeah, I trim my nails special.
Do you moisturize?
Always, Mike, always. You can tell, can't you? No calluses on my hands.
Good for you.
Soft as a baby's bottom.
I think you're mute, Greg.
I think we'll go one of each for this next one.
So we're going to do one of each coin for this.
Yeah, one Ascension and
these.
Reaper coin. This
That's
is the
flip
same.
side.
Yeah, this is the same coin, and then one Ark coin as well.
So a set of two coins.
Absolutely correct. Yep.
Correct.
And remember, our base bid from local feeder is 10,000 Ark coin. So let's see if we can hear our first bid for a set of coins. One Reaper Ascension coin and one Ark coin.
25K. By the way, I need to apologize for my disconnect. I had to do a Greg. I ended up losing my connectivity. Had to come up to the main house and blah 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 blah. So I'm here. I apologize. I don't know what I missed.
Are you Wi-Fiing in the cabin?
I was. I left the cabin. I came up here to the main house. Yes.
I spend my entire life Wi-Fiing in a cabin. I'm surprised I haven't gone out yet.
I'm in kind of a barracks here, but I'm hardwired in a barracks.
Well, we got a 50,000 from Michael there.
Nice. Ace is being challenged.
Yeah.
He's being challenged. I hope he can see that.
So what's your plans for tomorrow, Rodney? Are you off out mowing lawns, or are you going to give yourself a day off? What's up?
No days off. I'll be mowing. Yeah, just mowing. Getting ready for my 50-state mowing tour for first responders. I'll be also, I'll mow most of the day, then come home and just start calling people back that submitted lawns for each state, and trying to get that organized. And eventually, Monday will come, then I'll be back mowing again. But yeah, every single day I'm out mowing unless it rains. Like this afternoon, it started to rain here in Huntsville, Alabama, so I ended a little early. So yeah.
Do you do a lot of your work around Huntsville? How often do you travel? Would you say in a week or in a month? How many times you're away? Does it vary?
Yeah, it varies. Most of the time I'm here mowing the free lawns for those in need in the Huntsville area. But when I got a group of kids to complete the 50-yard challenge, like in a certain area, like on the West Coast, I will plan a trip out there and just visit like 10 or so kids at one time in that area. And it just depends on where they finish. Like right now, a lot of kids are starting to finish in the Midwest. So I'll wait for a big group of kids to finish. Then I'll load the van up with the equipment. Then I'll go and see them. But most of the time I'm here. If not, I'm visiting kids. If not, I'm on a 50-state mowing tour for a different cause. And yeah, that's my life.
I'm going to show
Can
that.
I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Sorry. I wanted to go kind of back to where you was at before, where these kids, kind of the motivation and all. I mean, you do have a web presence, right? You have a website. So I got, maybe an idea would be to put a map of the United States up, and all the kids that are registered, if you click on that particular state, it'll pull them up, sort of like a heat map.
Yeah.
And then, there'd be a roster. Each one of those kids, how many lawns they got mowed, how close they are to the next shirt,
That's a great idea.
That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I kind of had something similar, like an interactive map, just looking for different ways. Like, let's say someone needed help in Oregon. They can go to this map, they can click on the kid's name, and then it can send a message to that parent. So I'm looking for a system where I can make something like that, where it makes it easier for people to get in contact with the parent. But I also don't want the parent to get flooded with messages, because some areas, like in Indiana, for example, I'm getting a lot of calls from Indiana right now because they put us on their 211 list. So I don't want like that to happen to a parent where they're getting a bunch of emails at one time from one place, because there's only so much a parent can do, especially when they have to work and do other activities with the kids. So
I can see where you need some help with some structure. Yeah.
Can you show the coin again, please?
We have a quick question here, Rodney, from JTXRP. Are the kids supervised by the parents, and what steps does the charity do to ensure the kids' safety?
Yeah, so the parents, they supervise their kids. They're supposed to stay there at all moments with their kids. So yeah, so the parents are there. We recently made a safety video that we're requiring parents and their kids to watch, especially when they first sign up. Just a few safety steps, and then we got more safety information on our website. So we're trying to push this initiative of safety first, because things can happen with lawnmowers. They're a very dangerous tool. So we're trying to teach kids the importance on how to handle a lawnmower, because I've heard of accidents, not with our organization, but with I think, what's that organization called? It's an organization where kids get their limbs cut off. They say one of the biggest reasons are from lawnmowers, of kids just sitting in the laps of a parent when they're on a riding mower and the kid falls off and they get something chopped off, and that's dangerous. So we never want to see something like that happen with any kids in our organization. So that's one thing we're doing this year, just pushing safety. Safety has to come first, because at the end of the day, these lawnmowers can be a dangerous tool. It's important to have safety glasses on at all moments. I've seen kids in the past wear like Jesus sandals and stuff like that. You can't do that. You have to have toe shoes, or if not better, steel toe shoes. But I've seen parents in the past have their kids out mowing in Jesus sandals and Crocs and stuff like that, and that's not acceptable. And you have to get onto parents when you see stuff like that. Because
what's the age range of kids, Rodney?
right now, we take kids ages 8 to 17, but most of our younger kids, they're raking leaves and stuff like that, so they're not really using lawnmowers. But when it comes to the safety, I've even come up with the idea, maybe if parents submit their kids wearing like sandals and stuff when they're mowing, maybe give them one warning, and they keep doing it, maybe expel them from the program, because we don't want to see anything like that happen to kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety is huge, and it's great to hear that you're taking such a stance, Rodney, on that. And that's a fantastic question there, JT. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
And you'd be surprised to see, when parents would submit lawns, and you'd be like, are they wearing Crocs or are they wearing sandals mowing? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, Rodney, earlier you alluded to needing to be able to have certain types of what sounds like software applications and technologies that could lend to you being more efficient.
Yes.
Currently, in your mind, what would that look like for you? What do you need? What is it you're looking to have done in the systems? Like, what system can help you to be most efficient? Sounds like you said you need a secretary, but could that be an application? I mean, looking for ways to do it in a most efficient kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look, when looking at systems, one of the systems, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Blackboard. When you get into college and high school and stuff, Blackboard is a system that comes to mind where they can, when they sign up for the 50-yard challenge, a profile is created, and when they make that profile, it generates 50 folders. So each folder will say lawn 1 all the way up to 50. So they have their own profile now, and maybe even have other rooms where they can chat with parents in their region. They can find kids nearby if they want to team up or something like that. But having a platform like Blackboard, where they can have the 50 folders, they can submit it each time, and each time they submit a lawn, that would check off, and that would come to the percentage all the way up to 50. So once they reach 50, that'd be 100% of the lawns. So I think it's very important to have that visual where kids can see, oh, I'm at 40%. So I just need another 10 more lawns and I'm done. I mean, not 40%. My math is kind of off, but I think. But
no
yes,
worries.
Having that system where they don't have to submit it to the cell phone or the email, they just automatically have an app where it goes to the system and upload it that way. I think that would make things so much easier, because right now, like I said, everything comes to the phone or the email, and technology is technology. The phone can eventually erase itself one day. You never know what may happen with a cell phone. I might lose all that data. So if I have something on the internet which is backed up, it will make things so much easier. Secretary, I think that's important, because I can't be the one mowing the lawns and answering the phone because that will take time away from me mowing. So, like I said, eventually I want to have a secretary here at the office just handling those type of stuff, shipping out the t-shirts because I'll be mowing all day. Then I'll come to the office, I'll package t-shirts and ship them out.
Sure.
So, it'll be nice to have a little free time to myself.
Sure. Well, I'm looking around all this. It looks like the Brady Bunch for those of us who know who I'm talking about on these screens. But point being, there's probably a lot of individuals in here who could probably make, as I heard Rich a little earlier allude to, a suggestion. Are there any suggestions that are from anybody here who can say, "Hey, have you considered this? Have you considered that?" Because I get the sense that there's a lot of different perspectives here that could potentially help you in an immediate way. Anybody?
Well, I was just going to say just then that right now, reaching out through this medium we're on right now, if there's anybody in the location of Rodney who would be interested in helping him out, even probably part-time would probably work for you, Rodney, right?
Yeah.
One day a week or whatever would be great. So if anybody's interested, absolutely contact Rodney and tell him that you are in his area, in the vicinity. Is this stuff that people could do from their own home, Rodney, as well? Maybe not the packaging t-shirts, but could they do the answering emails and have telephone rerouted, that type of thing?
Yeah, there's stuff that can be easily configured to help people out in different areas. But yeah, emails and stuff like that, as long as you have internet, you can just get back.
Your home base of operations is in Huntsville, right?
Yeah, Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah.
How many of those kids that went through the program are in college for like technology or something else that you might be able to leverage? I think maybe like a good virtual assistant could kind of point you in the right directions, make your appointments, put your contacts in there, get your phone numbers, help build your profile.
Yeah.
But you would probably need somebody there to kind of help you do that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
If you go back and you leverage your community, these people will be willing to probably volunteer that service for you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a very good idea.
Do some salary requirements later on.
Yeah.
If I can cut in real quick, I have somebody that I want to bring up. Somebody that everybody's been waiting for. The man, the myth, the legend himself.
Who made these transitions? These are incredible.
That's
Mr. Patrick.
How you doing, Rodney? Thank you for joining us for this, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
And I see we got Stan the Man calling in from Finland too in a sauna. That's outstanding.
Yeah, he's just lit the fire. He'll start sweating shortly.
Yeah.
While we're chatting with Patrick and everybody's having a chat, should we throw another item up real quick? But before we do, let me just say thank you very much, Baxter, for that 60,000 for those 2 coins. Great job, sir. Well done, you. If you can send that through when you get a minute, Baxter, that'd be great. We will get the QR code up soon. And this is our next item, Raising Men camo t-shirt. That's a beauty. That's going to fetch some and be bidden. How are you doing, Patrick? Everything going okay for you?
I don't know if he heard you. Patrick, did you hear? He's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen.
He's frozen. Well, maybe he's just having a moment. Maybe actually he's still and he's reflecting.
I think he's
the cardboard cutout.
He did. My brother has a word. He uses the word trickerations. I think Patrick just did some trickerations on us with the still.
I think he's back.
Yeah, okay. I got rubbed for some reason.
I'd put a cardboard cutout of Patrick in my passenger seat in the Mustang.
Nice.
I want one.
Well, the question that came up, Patrick, while you were not here and you did the cardboard getaway, was asking how you were doing.
Oh, tough times, but doing well.
Okay. Well, glad you took a moment to come on in and join and hear and see what everyone is doing in support of the organization to which Rodney is really helped to explain very well and to, I think, a level of clarity that most of us hadn't really even thought about. Thanks for that, by the way, Rodney. And I wanted to find out, and Patrick may even have some ideas. I mean, hey, he's got a lot going on these days when it comes to, America. And with that being said, a question would be that we were asking about from Rodney was any ideas of how he can maybe make himself a little more efficient and how he's doing things. He's doing a great job, but always opportunities abound for learning.
Yeah, so Rodney, I love what you're doing, and I think you can only do so much by yourself. I know you got a couple people helping you out, but really, I think your next biggest step would be franchising and finding other people to take a lead and kind of reproduce exactly what you're doing. Which, of course, obviously, we love what you're doing. I used to mow lawns when I think I was 6 or 7, and it was the first time I had an income, and I did that for many years. I remember getting $5 a lawn, and that was a lot of money back in the day. So I think there's a lot of value in it, and I think the best way you're going to grow this and grow what you're doing is to find people who share that passion, who are willing to go out and do exactly the same thing you're doing. I would say probably the retired vets, are probably good people to go to who perhaps don't need that primary income, and they can do exactly this and travel and help out.
That's a great idea. I never thought about, having especially the vets, retired vets, step up and run different chapters. So that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. But yeah, I see the organization going in that route eventually because, like I said, it's a much needed service. I'm getting calls all the time from different people across the country wishing they had this service in their area. We don't have a kid in every single city in America. So, eventually once we start these chapters, let's say we start a chapter in Indiana, that chapter can reach out to different parts of Indiana and encourage kids. And just, Huntsville can be the, HQ, but having those chapters are very important in order to go.
And if you're able to go more high tech at some point, the thought occurs to me of Pokemon Go, which was kind of like a virtual reality video game that kids loved for a minute, right? So they would go out and they'd capture a Pokemon because they hit a certain area. But what you would probably want to do is something like that, where they'd go and they'd earn points or get a high score, or they'd get a special ability by mowing a certain lawn in a certain area. So it'd be like a competition to go out and see what they can do with it based off like a Google map overlay. I think that'd be pretty cool once you're ready for that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I love these ideas, man, because stuff I don't really think about, because I'm thinking that way, but with your ideas, I'm looking at different perspectives, and so it's very important.
Well, I would throw in, if you were actually open for suggestions, I feel like you probably thought of them all already. I loved that you were looking at snow removal, because that's the whole rest of the year, and that's really hard on your elderly people for sure. Like I just think that's exciting, and that could also, I just thought of this just now, but having kids learn to be comfortable around machinery is really, that's really important. And I think, especially when you think kids today, that a lot of them are like fatherless, or really, or they also don't live, so I can't even imagine really kids growing up in apartments, but I know they do, and it's that's just my own weakness that I don't think of it. But if a kid grows up in an apartment their whole life, they're not, when do they ever touch a lawnmower or a snowblower or anything? And so it seems really, that's a valuable skill in and of itself, just to be comfortable around machinery, because of all the job opportunities later that just have to do with machinery, right? But I also had thought of gardening, like putting in little flower beds, and I could just see that becoming quite the neighborhood, not just like one kid helping one elderly person, but kind of pitching in together on a block, right? Like a whole block. But that's, this is all thoughts that go through your head, right? But what you're doing could be, it's kind of, I feel like it's like Ark Institute, like we're just starting and we don't know how big it could get or how much impact it could have. It's the same with what you're doing. You've been around for a while and you have a pretty good presence now, but there's no telling if someone else took the ball and ran with it, what you're doing. As long as those things, like, I'm glad that Steve brought up earlier about the kids' safety, you know, like when they're interacting with strangers, and that you actually had this policy of the parents being present, because I don't think that came up before. I don't think we knew that, and it's good to hear.
And Rosemary, I got to let you know right now that unfortunately, Greg is using this 4-letter S word that I think we need to let everyone know that it has occurred. Greg, do you want to tell us what just happened?
I just thought it in my head. I didn't say it out loud. Oh, you mean sold? Yeah,
That
it's
is
sold.
the word. That is correct.
Oh, I thought we were talking about snow.
Yeah, he's been using that word repeatedly, Patrick, in your absence. I just want you to know. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, Steve, is there anything else that we wanted to roll out there at this point in time since the other 4-letter S words came up?
I'm saying nothing.
Like,
I'm keeping stum. All I'm going to say is some hairy guy in Alaska just got that camo T-shirt and he's pretty stoked about that. Sorry, Patrick, I beat you to it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But yeah, I'm super stoked about that. I'll be wearing that next time I'm online, so it's all good.
that's what's next.
Looks like we're up to a number 5 NFT. Rich's number 5 NFT. Sweet.
Yeah, it's very nice, actually. And once again, Rich, you want to give us any insights on what your thoughts were that brought you to here? Is Rich there? Can you hear me, Rich? Can anyone else hear me? Did I drop off phone? I know. Rich, can you hear me?
Well, every time that other screen is on there, I can't see my mute button. It keeps disappearing. No, I like that image. I used it. The kid in the foreground is actually from one of the pictures online. I don't know who he is, but he's immortalized in this piece of artwork now, and he's mowing the grass.
Roger. Hey, Rodney, can you tell me how many kids are actively right now in your program?
It's hard to say how many kids are active. To date,
Okay.
we have 4,900 something kids that are signed up. But when it comes to how many kids are active, it varies, because there are some kids that might have signed up in January, but don't do nothing till next year. Then, so it just varies.
Okay.
But if I had to put a number on it, probably about 100 or so kids, active at any given moment. You got some kids that will do a lawn like today, and they probably won't do a lawn until wintertime. But when wintertime comes around, there's snow shoveling. So it just depends.
Very cool. All right. And I'm going to go ahead. I hear you.
Yeah. Rodney, have you considered doing anything like tree planting drives? Or so I'm running as a Republican, full disclosure, right? So, but I care very much about the environment, just not about the traditional whatever the tagline is over there. But I do very much value planting trees and kind of re-greening areas that have been stripped. So have you considered doing maybe organized like field trips and maybe working with public schools to organize a bus taking kids out there and giving them the seeds and just letting them do a little bit of planting?
Yeah, I never thought of it, but that's a great idea to get kids involved, because we need to, plant trees, because we need oxygen. These trees give us oxygen. So that's a great idea to do something like that, especially getting the schools involved and doing field trips. I know back in the day when I was in school, I loved the field trips. So.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
Oh, Patrick, are you doing a little trickeration thing on us again? Okay, Patrick, play Mr. Cardboard. I got you.
Talking about trees and they.
Cardboard's back.
He is. Oh, welcome back.
Those Russian hackers trying to take out our presidential candidate. So rude.
Again, I can't help it. Yeah, so I don't know what they do for field trips these days, but I think they do movies and science museums are good, but I don't think they get outside very much. So,
but it's a great idea, especially being outdoors. having kids outside, away from TV and stuff, going outside and getting their hands dirty, planting something, give them a tool to scoop up something.
Absolutely. Anything that's more physical and hands-on, I think, is our world. And I mean, I mean me too, right? But anything more physical and hands-on and not just all these screens all the time, it's a battle to fight, right? Because we don't, what's the word, like kinetic, like I was reading some stuff they were showing about, maybe it was a chiropractor or something, but they were talking about people like kind of losing function in their actual limbs, and it was because they're like all out of kilter. But I was looking at the guy he was working on, and I thought, this guy doesn't exercise at all. A young man, he looked, he just doesn't have the like presence. Like, it was about balance and stuff like that. Like, if you're not out there, I mean, yeah, I've been aware of it myself lately, just trying to make, because as you get older, you don't want to like lose your sense of where you are in space and your ability to correct yourself. So you got to move a lot. But yeah, these kids, getting them out there planting trees, that would get them moving. They won't ever get old if they're doing that.
And one thing I know, back in the day when I was in school, sports, doing stuff like outside activity, doing sports, they were for free. You could do it. You could sign up for a team and it's free. This day and age, you got to pay money just to play. So, yeah.
Who was talking about that? The cost of hockey. They said it was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a kid to be in the school hockey team.
Yeah, and good luck with that dental insurance.
I think another resource you'd have there was something like that would be like in the schools, the FFA, the Future Farmers of America.
That's a great
idea. Get in there with them. Yeah. If we're wanting to utilize veterans, we have the ROTC. You got, kids that are, challenged to go out into the community and do certain things. So that would probably be a pretty good avenue too.
Yeah, we've had some kids, especially like in Oklahoma, in different parts of the country where that program is, it's very strong. I've even spoken to that organization. They had a conference in Oklahoma, and a lot of the kids from our program, a good amount, are part of that program. So that's a great thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story. First, I shouldn't eat thinking I had another 30 seconds, but I'm good. So, as I'm here with my family over here in Finland, they're very environmentally friendly. And I'll be honest with you, Rodney, and everyone else here, I'm probably not the most environmentally friendly. Don't hang up on me. I'm probably not the most environmentally friendly person, but in that I don't do all the stuff that they think is important. Trash separations, blah, 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 blah. What you sound like you have the opportunity to do when it comes to molding these young lives and young minds, because Europeans are brought up with that mindset. They know their trees, they know their birds, they know it all, and they really grow up with this whole environmental planting mindset. You have an opportunity, I think, sounds like, to write on some young minds. I think I missed that class, and I'll be so in it. I think I missed that class big time, but I try. Did we lose a couple people? I see. I think Rich and Steve.
Wasn't me this time.
I know.
No, they just turned their cameras off for a second.
Ah, okay. Sorry about
I'm back. This is not the cardboard me.
Okay, well, good. So then, I guess a question I would have of you, Rodney, would be going forward, because everyone's stoked. You can hear that everyone's very much behind you in what you're doing. Going forward, how do you see us being able to lend any kind of future assistance as relates to this type of an approach to generating resources for you guys and your organization?
Yeah, just what was the question again? Like the last part?
Well, just generating resources. More of the same is, because this is a second for the organization, specifically for Ark Institute, but is hopefully something that'll lend to you guys as an organization becoming, I'd say, increasing your growth and enabling you guys to do more things. So is there anything organization can do outside of this?
I'm trying to understand the question. Sorry, I'm just.
No, it's not you. It's probably me.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
I think you might be a little quiet there, possibly too.
Oh, you know what? I
might
moved
be a
into the
volume.
house. People are sleeping. I've got to change my tone. I can't be as loud as I was. Sorry. Ultimately, it just sounds like Ark has done an amazing thing by letting you be what seems like the second person,
Yes.
or the second entity.
Uh-huh.
And I guess the question is, I'll just change it. Going forward, what do you see yourself doing with these resources? And just enhancing your organization, moving it towards doing what?
Oh, just sharing one thing with Ark. I think on my side, I think if I share more of the Ark stuff that you guys done for the organization, it will bring people that probably didn't have an idea about the digital world and digital currency. They will look more into it and be like, hey, they're helping Raising Man Lawn Care Service, so let me look into Ark. And I think it will be a win-win. And with more people coming into the Ark Institute and stepping into that digital world, that's going to open them up, and it's just going to be a win-win for everyone, I think. Because this whole digital currency, like we said in the beginning, this is new to me, but it has so much potential for an organization like mine and so many others, like where the funds can go directly to the organization without having that middle person in the middle. Like when you have PayPal takes a chunk out of your donation. Every time someone donates, it takes a chunk out, and then when you send it to your bank account, it takes another chunk out. So having this digital currency world open up to our organization and to many others, I think it's a win-win.
Hey, can I add something? Speaking of taking out the middleman, because what a great thing to point out. That's like the top thing with crypto, right? So there's a video hosting platform that you might not know about called HowTube, and they've been around for a little while, and I really like the content that they have. They're striving to have it be educational content, but they have in their video hosting platform, it might be something for you to think about if you have video content that you're uploading, to also upload it there. Like you could still upload it to YouTube or wherever you're normally putting videos, but if you put it on HowTube as well, HowTube has a feature where they you can have merch sales right on the page where your video is. Like, if you have the video square up here on the page, right below it, you could have t-shirts and stuff, and it's a shopping cart. You could just click on there and it's a cart. Also there's a donation button. You can have a donation button right on your video page right there, and they hardly take any cut at all. They YouTube takes like 30%, but HowTube hardly takes anything. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Speaking of eliminating the middleman.
Yeah. And it's amazing because different things that I don't know about, and we all know different stuff that we each other don't know about, and we can bring it to the table. Like, wow, I never thought about that. Or I never knew about that. So that's especially when you have these round tables where everyone's just talking about different things.
Actually, I'll share with you this. In my normal life, I do a lot of consulting, and it's in the knowledge management, change management arena. And it's all about cross sharing. And that's what's happening here. Earlier, you may have heard me ask who has something that they can lend to helping actually Rodney know about an application that already exists to help mitigate or mitigate your issue and minimize the need for that secretary, whatever that might be. But that's what we ought to do all the time, even in our daily living. But this new whole crypto thing allows us all to learn at different levels wherever we are, but to learn, and we can do that, and we're doing it right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll cut you off, Steve. Don't give me a beat down.
We're doing really, really good right now. We got Steve Stafford won 130 for that NFT, and I believe it's going. Oh no, tell a lie. Michael's just jumped in. Doesn't want to miss out. 150,000. That's awesome, Mike. Thank you. Michael, you're a monster, says Rosemary. I'll bet Steve thought he had that one in the bag. Very last minute. Could we put that QR code up again, possibly, Greg? Just again, anyone who wants to do any smaller donations, more than welcome. Just throw them on. 100 ARK, 10 ARK, 500 ARK, whatever you feel. All helps benefit Rodney.
Yeah. That's 180,000. Is that correct? Is that what I'm seeing, Michael White?
Yeah, Michael's just gone up to 100.
So no. So yeah, I mean I will, but what I'm saying is, if you do the math, the last round of ASC NFTs, the Genesis, they started at 2,500 XRP, I believe. So these are cheap. Hate to steal Ace's phrase, but this is cheap, man.
Man. So I don't know if we can look around the group and see if we have consensus that Michael was suggesting that he might want to ramp it up at an incredibly rapid rate of speed. Did you want to say something, Mike? Did I cut you off?
No, I'm all set.
We've got Christoph on 155 now. So, yep, we're up. Christoph wants it. Mike at 180, says Patrick. Nice. Proxy bidding from Patrick there on behalf of Michael.
It's all good. And I just want you guys to remember, what time is it over there, by the way? It's still early for you, right?
We're all at different times right now. What time is it for you, Rodney? Where are you at?
5:07.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
What about
It'll be about breakfast time for you soon, won't it, buddy?
It's only a little after 1 a.m. It's all good.
Oh, there you go.
If I seem like I'm losing it, you guys just slap me through the ether. It's not a problem.
I'm 2 in the afternoon right now, so. But Christoph, we're on 155. That's really cool. How many more NFTs have we got after this one, Greg? Just one?
Yep, this is number 2 of 3, so we have one more coming.
There's only one more after this one. Michael's jumped it up to 160. We're looking good. I would like to, at some point in time, Rodney, get together with you and talk with you a bit more about the Ark and the RES Reaper ecosystem.
Yes.
And that way we can help expand your wallet a bit more, because at this current point in time, there's been a few changes and alterations and some add-ons and stuff. Trust lines we could put into your wallet, which means you would start gathering more cryptocurrency passively every day and what have you. So we'll see if we can get you linked up with that in the next couple of weeks, whenever you have a minute, a little bit of free time, and we can gel it together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. But we got Michael going on at 160 right now. Anybody going to usurp him?
Am I understanding correctly that Patrick sort of just popped in and sort of popped right back out? Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone for now, but I'm sure he'll pop back in again at some point if he has a moment.
He popped in to bid on my behalf, and then he left after he stuck my mind.
Yes, for sure. He's good like that.
I didn't know if he went cardboard or some other.
I don't know if he dropped down on purpose or on accident, but I can see him. If you want back up, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's for some reason Chrome is crashing on me, and I'm trying to figure out why. I can't do with my extensions. I've got too many AI bots running through Chrome, so yeah.
Oh, so you heard me talking trash about you? I didn't think you heard me.
I did, yeah.
Dang it. Take it back, Stan. Take it back.
Without the StreamYard, I heard you.
Okay, just checking. Oh, that's good. So then at this point,
we got Steve Stafford up at 165. Yeah.
Yes, going once. But wait a minute. Patrick alluded to someone having 180. I don't know who that someone might be, but
maybe it was Patrick. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be me misreading the.
He's saying it when he's got his mouth full.
I agree. Totally agree. So then,
maybe Michael can start bidding on behalf of Patrick now. How would that work?
Wow. Something to consider.
I'll spend your money for you.
Nope, it's sold now.
Hey, Rodney,
congratulations.
With everything, Rodney, going on when it comes to being aware of the male-female thing, have you noticed an increase in any way female interest in male over male interest, or as far as in with the objective of getting the work ethic and from the program and what it has to offer?
Yeah, so like when the organization first started, it was just called Raising Men. Then we had some young ladies locally that would sign up, and we would give them raising men T-shirts, and that didn't sit well with me. So that's when I started Raising Women. So the same organization, just for young ladies, when they sign up, they get a Raising Women T-shirt. And then the moment I done that, that's when I saw a lot of young ladies start to sign up. And yeah, I'm glad I made that decision. Probably one of the best decisions I've came up with, starting Raising Women. And we have young ladies that come out and mow with me and some of the boys. And when it comes to mowing, I've seen a lot of young ladies, they pay more attention to details than some of these fellas. I was like, wow, hey guys, she's out mowing you. Like, I mean, just attention to details, straight lines. Just straight lines. They will do it. And then you got some guys that they sign up and they're crooked. But a lot of young ladies, especially locally, they really pay attention to details. They like a straight cut. That's one thing I realized, with the young ladies in the program.
And they sought you out initially, is what it sounds like. Meaning they were the ones who initiated. Why not us?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was young ladies signing up. They wanted to be a part, and seeing a young lady wearing a Raising Men shirt just didn't sit. Like, why is it in my head? Why is a young lady wearing a Raising Men T-shirt? She needs a Raising Women, and I said, hey, we gotta change this right now. And then
you have groups of siblings, don't you? So there's like a brother and sister doing this together.
Yep, brothers and sisters doing it together. So we recently in Nevada had 3 sisters complete the 50-yard challenge. But yeah, there's been groups of young ladies that will sign up. Another place in Nevada had a group about 8 young ladies sign up for the 50-yard challenge. And yes, but the moment I made Raising Men and Raising Women lawn care service, that's when a lot of young ladies started to sign up, and I'm glad.
Here's something to think about. As far as getting more girls interested, I have experience in the garden center industry and just a little bit of exposure to landscaping. Not much. I never worked it, but my former business partner did do some landscaping work. But I think what you might possibly see a split where the boys are going into what's considered lawn service, like guys do for rental properties, where they're just mow and blow and they're out of there, right? And you don't see a lot of women doing that. But for landscaping, like putting in gardens or maintaining gardens, a lot of that is women. So that might be a place where the girls, I really see that being the case, where the girls are doing the garden installation work, at least for like as individual small business, not maybe for the really big firms that go in there with machinery, but it's just something to think about. Garden maintenance versus lawn maintenance. There's a split in gender, maybe possibly.
That's a great idea. We've had young ladies do some gardening in the 50-yard challenge, pulling weeds and stuff like that. But that's focus on gardening, bring more young ladies in, and maybe even provide them seeds, so they can plant them. They can go in the garden, pull the weeds, and then plant the seeds.
I know you got me. You're not talking my language now. I just say this too, like as far as your faith being a driver of this mission, like I've thought about how there's, at least for me, like it affects me when I see that like somehow there's a cultural undertone that unless you're like sacrificing yourself, you're like making a sacrifice, you're not actually making a contribution to God. Like unless you're like, it's a painful thing that you'd rather not do, but you force yourself to do it, and that's how you serve God, like being a martyr. And I thought about my grandmothers and how my grandmothers had flower gardens, right? Like, I could tell you the context in why I was thinking about my grandmothers, but people used to have beautiful flower gardens, and of course some people still do, but it was, I think, a bigger thing culturally where people participated in flower gardens. But I thought about it and I thought, like, if my personal view of God is as an artist, then if you plant a flower garden and you create beauty, how is that not serving God? How is that not celebrating God? Like, if God made the world a beautiful place, right? So if we make the world more beautiful, then we're serving God. Isn't that true? Like, we're helping God's big art project. See, that's my own personal view. But I do think that having a flower garden is, it could fit in with the mission if you thought about it that way, and especially for maybe there's like, well, I know for a fact that there's older ladies out there who used to have flower gardens who just can't do the work anymore. And I'm sure it breaks their heart,
Yeah, very true.
So I'm just thinking of this from a cultural observation, and this is really more just something I'm looking at more than suggesting. But the younger generation, the boys have really a lot of media that's specifically geared towards them, and they get all these video games and they get all this different media that's like, it's good for them to go and sit in their room and play video games, or it's good for them to interact online. But for girls, and really I think it's the Barbie movie, which I confess I haven't watched it yet, right? But I think it kind of points out that there's a serious lack of media that targets and satisfies a feminine need within our country. And for that, I think we're going to see a lot of the younger generation boys really taking to the computers, and a lot of the younger generation girls are just not going to have things there for them that they want in the same way, because it's just not being made for them. So they're going to kind of take to the outdoors, and at the same time we see on like HGTV, you've got realistically it's a cultural phenomenon or a social problem where sex sells, right? So you've got these attractive women that are grown women that are remodeling a house, and they're doing all these projects and flipping and house flipping and all that. So they're being held up in a high regard because they are active and they're doing drywall and they're doing remodeling and all these things. Whereas what are men held in high regard for today in our society? They're held in high regard for sports and those sorts of things to a limited degree still, but it's more about money and business and media and marketing and things that are really strictly digital these days. So I think just a cultural observation, we're going to see a lot of women moving towards more physical, real life interaction things, where a lot of the men are moving towards online digital interaction.
I think where you appeal to women is with experiences, right? They like experiences, they like to get out there and do certain things. So, it's an accomplishment. Where guys are more goal oriented, women like the experience. But one thing I was curious about, Rodney, is anybody, like, Rosemary had brought this up a while back to me. She was like surprised that nobody from like Lowe's or Home Depot or maybe Toro or Craftsman or anybody else has been able, or they contacted you about maybe a national sponsorship.
Yeah, so
to provide the material that you need, that you give away.
Yeah, so I've had conversations with Lowe's and Craftsman and Honda, who make lawnmowers as well. But when it comes to them, it's more on a legal side. With lawnmowers, they expect kids on the manuals. You got to be at a certain age, 12 years old or 13 years old to use a lawnmower. So so they can't really donate lawnmowers to us just because of that reason, because the legal side, just in case something happens. So that's one thing I found when it comes to those big companies.
What about maybe going to your local hardware stores? If they're going to supply the material for your project, that would probably be a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I had local hardware like Lowe's, or locally they donated lawnmowers to me so I can use. But when it comes to the kids, they just won't. They gave me some gas containers before, but that's the most I've gotten from hardware store per se.
You know, we were talking about this. Rich and I were talking about whether you were getting corporate sponsorship, and I thought, well, maybe you didn't want to be beholden to them anyway. You don't want to seem like you're advertising their stuff. I don't know, especially when there's kids involved. Like, oh, be sure and get it at Home Depot. You know, they sponsor us. Like, maybe you don't want to be selling to kids. You know, that way. That's how
I wouldn't mind a big sponsor like that, because it will help out, because if donations are not coming in from donors with money or loan equipment, we have to go out and purchase the items ourselves. So having a big company like that to help out will be tremendous. But I know when it comes to like equipment itself directly from Home Depot or Lowe's, they really can't do it. But if another big organization or company wanted to help out, they can donate the funds to us and we can just go purchase them.
So that would be cool. I think maybe the safety equipment would be a big opportunity for you too, to get out in front of it.
I've had a company reach out before wanting to donate a bunch of safety glasses. That's still going.
Sure.
But yeah.
Excellent. And so it's an issue, it sounds like, of liability on the parts of the bigger corporations.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I guess I'm sort of curious, taking what Rich offered as a question. I'm wondering, what about local, I would say, philanthropists and businesses that aren't mechanically necessarily associated with what you do? What's your approach? How do you pursue getting these individuals or entities to align themselves with your program?
Yeah, so some local, especially local ones, they've reached out before. There's a local law firm that has helped out many times with different projects that we have put on. They've donated to the organization. One thing I want to do probably in 2024 is, if a local company, they want to donate to the organization, maybe even have their name on a t-shirt, have like different sponsor spots on the t-shirts. So when we send it out to kids for the 50-yard challenge, it could say like on the back or on the sleeve, presented by such and such company, and just so they can see where the funds are going and stuff like that. But I think having local organizations that are not hardware stores, that can be tremendous help as well.
Well, I guess first and foremost, want to make sure not doing anything except asking questions, not scrutinizing, but it's more like, again, a forum where people could potentially throw out some suggestions, and don't know if that's okay. But I guess a question from a marketing standpoint: do you have a marketing component to what you do as an organization?
When you say marketing component, what do you mean? Like,
is there someone who's specifically outside of yourself who goes out to help cultivate and potentially generate donors, or people who are, like I said, philanthropists who want to donate, but just don't know about your organization? Is that an active effort?
Not so much.
Okay.
When it comes to like getting donors, we recently hired a local company that goes out and writes grants. So they write grants for, there's national grants, then there's companies that have local grants, and they write for both for our organization. So we paid them a set fee for them to write for the entire year for that.
That's awesome. Well, let me commend you, by the way, for being national. Because it sounds like you're getting a lot of attention. Tell me, what about the shows I hear you've been on some television shows, or local, national? Tell me.
Yeah, so we've been featured on every major news network. So Fox News, CNN, NBC, ABC. So we've been featured on them. I've been on the Kelly Clarkson show with Tyler Perry.
Really?
Before. That was in 2019. Most recent national spot was in July. We featured on the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, the kids edition, and they came down and they filmed us doing mowing and stuff like that locally. So yeah, we've been on every major news network, and that has helped us tremendously, because when you're on those platforms, that opens you to a bunch of different people that didn't know about your organization. And that helps us with donations, that helps us with registering kids from different parts of the country.
Did you see donations after those events?
That's my question.
Yeah, just depends on the news network, which, there's some news networks that, they share your story, you're getting donation instantly. I'll give you an example. Like Fox News is probably our biggest supporter. We've been on different programs with Fox News, and when they share our story, I've seen donations come straight in. And our most recent feature on NBC, there weren't too many donations that come right in. CNN, they featured us before, and not so much donations will come in. But I one thing I do realize, I've been on Fox probably about 4 or 5 times in different programs, and each time, I've seen a big jump in donations just from them featuring us.
I think it'd be awesome to have you on a billboard in a real populous city with, go here and learn about me.
Yeah, something like that, or say, hey, sign your kid up, or something like that. Just something unique. But that's another great marketing idea.
Did you mention Fox because you felt like you got more donations after you were on Fox than you did on another one?
Yeah, Fox has been a huge supporter, and every time I've been on Fox News, I remember one time I was on a 50-state tour. I think Shannon, I forget her last name, she featured us, and I was in a hotel at the time, and they sent a camera, so I was live, and I think the website crashed. But yeah,
Really?
yeah, the website crashed. There was so much traffic to come in. I was like, wow, man, this is the first time that I had to call my IT guy and say, hey, the website is down. We need to get it. But yeah, Fox has been big supporters of our organization.
That's wonderful to hear. And I guess another thing would be, even in this forum, potentially networking capabilities abound. And with the whole digital space and the ecosystem that people are part of, I would like to think that maybe people walk away from here and talk about what you do beyond, this session right now. And in so doing, make it even more known about, what you got going on. How are we doing on that live?
That is a really awesome Raising Men hoodie. I love it. It's beautiful. And so far we got Patrick on 70. Let's see if we can get that up above what I paid for the t-shirt, because that is a hoodie and it is a nice one.
I'm big on hoodies, all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, you know what? I agree. So what I just saw here is from Canada. You need to know. But it says here that Ark Institute, Mike Rowe would be a great person to contact. Yeah, that's good.
I recently had a gentleman reach out to us, and he films documentaries and puts them on Netflix. So you never know what might come from that. So hopefully something does come from it. And just being on different platforms just introduce you to a whole different audience, and people take interest.
Yeah.
Hey, when you were doing that documentary project with that student, and I guess they were in Los Angeles, was he not able to continue that documentary? I know he made a short teaser. He was trying to raise funds for that.
Yeah, so he's planning on releasing it in October and November.
Oh, that's been continued. That was filmed already, or is it?
Well,
he's editing now.
He flew down to Huntsville, and he filmed me visiting a kid for the 50-yard challenge and mowing with him. They filmed me when I first got my office for the organization. So they got different stuff, but they're just working, putting it together and sending it out to different people to master it. And I'm not sure what goes on in the backgrounds when it comes to filmmaking, but I know they're putting everything together. But that should be released maybe October or November, from what I'm hearing. So once I find out the release date, definitely let everyone know. But also another company reached out. They want to do something more on a bigger platform like Netflix and stuff like that. So hopefully some come from that.
Hey, I have a question. This is just off the top of my head. When you have, how do you see the areas where you're getting strong participation? Do you see it pretty equal to big urban areas compared to smaller towns?
It just depends. Like, I've seen a bunch of kids sign up in Utah. A lot of kids in a certain area in Utah. I think American. A few cities in Utah where we see a lot of kids, and there's like in Idaho, there's a big group of kids that signed up there. In Ohio, there's a big group that signs up in there. I'm not sure if they're urban or in the country part of the state, but it's just certain states you see a lot of kids sign up. So I have Utah, I have Ohio, I have Iowa. There's a few, just about probably 10. We see a large group of kids sign up each year. Like, wow, what's going on in this area? Let's focus on this area. Why are kids signing up in this area? So yeah, I've had people on my board to send out surveys on like different questions, like why did you sign up and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
Okay.
Well,
that's excellent. Good. You're gauging the effectiveness or your metrics. You're trying to gather those as well. I guess I have to apologize again for Greg. Greg is once again using that S word, and I think it's important that we take a moment to acknowledge whatever it is. Clearly, he just wants to say it over and over. Can you say, Steve, what exactly is going on here?
I think we need some fake news blasts out and some Rodney truths coming on here.
Stan's double fake news.
Whatever. Well, I think it's a fact.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That S word.
Congratulations, Patrick, on that camo hoodie. Hopefully, we'll see you sporting that soon. What are we putting up next? We have another NFT. We have you put down another camo shirt there? We've got some woolly hats too, potentially, or I don't know, whatever you feel.
We didn't really plan this out.
And we're back.
We're going to do another camo shirt and an Ark coin.
Camo shirt and an Ark coin. Sounds good. Is that a combo? Camo shirt and an Ark coin together?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Excellent. So
Rodney, I had a quick question for you.
Sure.
It's just a simple one, really. The name Raising Men and Women.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the women was an add-on after the initial, but was there a thought process behind the Raising Men?
Yeah. So when coming up with the idea of wanting to start a nonprofit organization, I didn't know what to call it. So I went to a website called Custom Inc. and they create t-shirts. So I wanted to create a t-shirt and create a logo at the same time. And I just typed in lawn care. And when I typed in lawn care, I saw a gentleman pushing a lawnmower with a kid and then another kid, then a baby. And at first, what came to mind was raising men or raising kings for some reason. And then I sent my idea to this young lady and said, which one do you like more? And she said, Raising Men. And that's how we got Raising Men. Lawn care service.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. I like hearing how things evolve and where they come from, where the ideas grow from and stuff. I think it's pretty interesting. For sure. Well, we got Rich going on now, 25K for a t-shirt and a coin. And that is a steal and a half. Manny's usurped you. He's gone up to 30. Greg, can we put up the QR code again, please? Again, anybody wants to throw any donations, no matter how big or small, feel free. Get your Zoom wallet, take a photograph of the QR code, and go right ahead. And anybody else who's bid and hasn't sent any money through, feel free to do that now, too. It's a good time. There is the QR code. One more thing, Rodney, I was thinking too about what you were talking about with regards to being sponsored by some of the big stores and stuff for lawnmowers. And the reason that that's not happening is because it's aimed at kids and stuff. Is there any way that you could suggest to those stores that you're actually donating it to the family rather than to a child?
Never thought about that, but that's a good thing to look into, or maybe even have them sign a waiver. I know.
Yeah, possibly. It's
Yeah.
it's if it saves you having to purchase them yourself, which
Yeah.
is an amazing thing, or at least if you can get discounts, you're doing it because in reality, I mean, it's a gift to the entire family.
It is, yeah.
For their lawn, rather than the individual child. So it might be worth something looking into for the future.
And even like you said, having a discount, if they can cut it in half. Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, it's all any way that you can save money.
Yeah.
It's all money that is then going into different places for you, and making you can grow things more, make things better, generally speaking.
Yeah, and
I just figured
warehouses and different, like let's say they're able to give a discount, and then once you start chapters, you can have warehouses in different parts of the country. You're just storing items that are for the kids, make things easier.
Hey Rodney, can you take me back?
Yes.
Sure.
People say, there's this thing. People say, "Take me back, preacher, take me back." Well, I'm going to ask you to take me back when you're talking about your parents and the role they played in the gentleman who we see sitting in the screen today. When you think back, what was it that was pivotal or key to you being who you are today? Because I don't know that I'm not dismissing that there are a bunch. I just don't know them all who are similar to you. So help me understand what makes Rodney who Rodney is, that gives him the drive to do what Rodney is doing and wants to continue doing.
Yeah, so growing up, and it was my mother and father until they got divorced, but my dad would always instill into me, give me these different books to read. He's like Think and Grow Rich and As a Man Thinketh, just different Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and just having stuff like that just opened my mind to different ideas. He wanted me to think and just open my mind. As a kid being brought up in Bermuda, you can be very small-minded, just being on an island with 60,000 people. A lot of people down there are just one-track minded and just don't think outside the box. But with him giving me books and just teaching me how to open up, just open my eyes. And my mother, she always wanted me to work hard, do everything right and always be honest. But that's one thing about both of my parents. They wanted me to be honest about everything, never lie, never steal, never do anything wrong. They just be a good citizen and just be who you are supposed to be. And yeah, I'm lucky to have two parents just like them.
Yeah.
Without them, without their guidance, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here today. Yeah, just the way I was brought up. Having them in the house and just. Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Well, I'll be honest, when I heard this whole boarding school over in New York, I was like, so he was a bougie little fella, huh?
Yeah.
Is that how that was?
Yeah, so it was just a boarding school for kids with learning disabilities. I was one of those kids that couldn't function in a big class. I had a hard time spelling. I had a hard time just retaining information. And when my parents divorced, I went to high school, probably beginning of high school, and I was like, "Mom, I can't function in these big classes." So she took me out, and I went to a home school in Bermuda, and this home school was at this lady's house, and she would teach about 6 different students, and then she sent each kid away to a boarding school in the United States. And I think it was at that moment, like if I never would have went through that, it wouldn't be no raising men long care service, raising women long care service, because that's when things started to change. That's when I started to really become who I am today. And yeah, I think that was the key moment.
Why was that key? Help me out.
I don't know, because it was something about Bermuda. I just needed to get away. If I would have stayed there, I don't know what I'd be doing. I know growing up, I always wanted to be a police officer. So there's a chance I could have been a police officer today. But it was that moment where I left Bermuda. I went to boarding school, best 2 years of my life, and just opened up so many opportunities. And from New York, I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And and to Alabama, and it just clicked. That's I had to start there to get to where I am today. And I believe if I never would have went through that, we probably wouldn't be talking today. I'd have been a police officer. But it's kind of crazy how one moment can change your life forever. And
Rodney, truth bomb.
Well, the truth
Thank
is,
you for that. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say the truth is that I think there's an NFT coming up right soon. Is that correct?
That's correct. We got NFT number 9 coming up. I'd like to congratulate Manny on his last steal that he got. He's very kindly said he's going to add a little bit more to it, which is really sweet of him. So we got NFT 9 coming up, and as soon as everyone's had a good look at that, we will get the QR code back up again, and we will move on. But that's a beauty.
Well,
that's one of my faves, that one.
Well, of course, we have to ask Rich. Give us the story, Rich. You're right here. Tell us what led up to this.
We got our first bid in at 100 too. That's from Gotta Be, because that's a beauty.
Well, I mean, this is the way the rest of the NFTs are pretty much probably going to go. It's like, these kids, like I said, they're the closest thing to God, because they're new, right? So
Yeah.
just getting here and getting out there and doing the good work. And I just kind of want to encapsulate that, put these angels in there. And I thought it was cool. Just the essence of it. It's been a lot to me.
And angels is exactly what these guys are too. That's a good comparison there, Rich. I like it. These kids
are these bubbles we're looking at there as well? Talk to me. Yes.
Some of it is, and some of it is raindrops, right? Because we're growing these kids. You need water. You need rain. And
nice.
From heaven, kind of grows the crop, right? So we're growing the minds and the work ethic of these young people going forward, and that was part of it. It's like it's where the water comes from. Water is life, I guess.
Yeah. Rosemary's comment about true art is 100% correct, and you've taken an idea and just pulled so much together, loving it, and true. Go ahead.
You know what this one makes me think of? Makes me think of Extra Duty when we send the privates out there with that push mower. Good times.
Hey, that's a real participant in Rodney's program right there. He got out there with that push mower, man. I had to put it in.
When I was about that kid's age, I used to mow our grass with an old antique lawnmower. You pushed it; it had big, hard metal tractor wheels on it that drove the blades around.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I really built myself up as a kid doing that. Now look at me. Oh my God.
I just mowed the lawn with my sigh.
There you go.
Nice.
That's a good result.
That's awesome.
Well,
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say we've got Drew Ankney has arrived in, and he is up to 220,000 ARK for number 9 NFT, and it is a beauty.
Well, I think what is kind of neat is, Patrick said he used to mow grass. I was a product of a military family, so we grew up all over the place. And if I wanted to do anything, Dad had to make me work for it. So I went out there, mowed grass on the military complex because, a lot of those fellows, they wouldn't mow their grass. And the apartment complexes on post or the little houses that they got for us were like side by side. So I would go out there and I'd get $20 a yard to mow the front and the back. And I did it because I would get to come down to my grandfather's house down here in Georgia from New Jersey. And it'd give me the opportunity to pay for my own plane ticket. So I flew solo on Piedmont to come down here to go water skiing and hang out at the lake and do things. But I did it with a lawnmower, and Pops is pretty astute with the business acumen. So he would like take a portion of the money that I made and say, "Well, this is for maintenance, and this is for blades, and this is for gas, and this is for oil." So he kind of taught me a lot, but it was it's good work ethic. You know, it teaches you how to sweat. So sweat equity is good.
I concur. But I mean, what's this Piedmont thing? I mean, who on this call right now has ever heard of Piedmont? I mean, dude, you're dating yourself. What is this about?
Yeah, it's way back when, man.
It
Piedmont was like
is.
the least expensive airline you could fly on. And since I had to pay for it, that's the airline ticket I bought.
But I think it's gone away, just like a couple of other airlines, like Pan Am, Eastern. I think they're gone. I read a book. I don't want you to think I was there or anything. I just read a book, and they're gone. So I'm looking here at what Ark Institute is talking about as it relates to this NFT number 9. What are we looking like, Steve? How's this NFT looking?
Well, Michael's just jumped it up right now to 225. Yes. It was going once, going twice. It was. So Michael's jumped in last minute. NFT number 9. That's pretty cool. Gotta Be's jumped in 235. It's gotta be now at 235. Is Drew gonna jump in again? That's the question. I'd just like to thank Manny too. I've just received Manny's donation. He added another 20,000 ARK to his bid, which is awesomely kind of you, Manny. Thank you very much. How long's Greg gonna leave that up with? Greg could actually just do going once, going twice, and sold now. He could just once, going twice, sold right now. Or is he going to be kind and is he going to let somebody else have a little bid?
So gracious, so gracious.
He's such a gentleman.
He is. Oh my goodness.
My patience are wearing thin, though.
Thank you, Manny. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna wait and see if it's almost there. Is it almost there? It's gone. Nope. Going once. Pretty close. I think we're getting close to it.
So we're only going once, are we? Going once for Greg at 235.
Yes. Roger that.
Going twice. Gotta be
going
235.
Twice. I thought it's gone twice a couple of times, hasn't it?
It's going twice right now.
Oh, okay. All right, just checking. And so then, all right, I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, Rodney, I'm going to ask you some more questions. I'm not delving too much, but at the same time, I think all of us are sort of just thankful for people such as yourself. And yet at the same time, saying to ourselves, is that us? I don't know that each of us can do that. I did the grass cutting that you're talking about, my brother, and I remember the gas can hanging over the handlebar, the bar of the lawnmower. I remember walking from yard to yard. My brother did certain parts of it, and he left me to do the little teeny picking up the clippings. Okay, but in your case, you did this all by yourself when you started. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Initiated it all by yourself. And I would say, for me, I think I need a little persuasion to do this. Yours was just empathy with this gentleman who you saw.
Yeah.
And that compelled you to do it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what came to me that day. Like I said before, I asked God to use me as a vessel, and I just felt at that moment, a few years later, when I came across the elderly man, something just, it was a feeling, you know, seeing the elderly man mow his lawn and struggle. Something just hit me that day. Look, you gotta, this is your moment. This is your purpose. And ever since that moment, I've been mowing free lawns, and I don't know, it was a feeling. I'd ask myself sometimes, like, what if I never would have mowed his lawn? I would have went back home. I would have got my degree in computer science. I would have just went back home to Bermuda and I guess do something with computers and IT. But I stopped and helped that man. From stopping and helping him out, my dad will always tell me, about opportunity. Opportunity is known to knock, but never known to pick a lock. So that opportunity showed me what my purpose was, and ever since that day, I've been mowing free lawns, and a lot of other opportunities that have come up. I've Lay's chips. They featured myself on a bag before for Lay's campaign.
Really?
Yeah, so like different opportunities will come up. Like me being a Kelly Clarkson show with Tyler Perry. I went to the Kelly Clarkson show. I never know who was going to be the guest that day. Then I look and I say, "Hey, it's Tyler Perry." Like, wow. So, but a lot of opportunities have come from just pulling over and helping that man out. And I wouldn't, if you would have asked me when I first started, where do you see the organization in 6-7 years? I wouldn't know what to say.
Well, I have two questions. First one is, how has the years that have gone by impacted your faith? And the follow-on question was, where's Tyler Perry? Did you hit him up after the show was over?
I asked him. I told him Medea might need her lawnmower, but I didn't get to see him after. He was on set and he just left. But when it comes to faith, my faith has grown. There's been times at the start of the organization, I remember when donations weren't really coming in. I remember one time, just hey God, I see what you want me to do. All I ask is you just provide. I remember a few days after that, a truck came from Amazon with 10 lawnmowers for us to give away to kids. I was like, wow, you've been listening for real, man. And just like what happened every once in a while. And for me, when I pray about it and just ask God to talk about it, I've seen a lot of things happen. So my faith is has gone up ever since starting the organization. And then, like I said, when I started the organization, I was never a religious person. I wasn't strong. I didn't have a strong background, but ever since starting the organization, my faith has just gone up.
I think one of the most amazing things that I think happened to you was when you went out there and you were looking for a lawnmower. It was a secondhand lawnmower.
Oh yeah, so that
and
story.
You told the guy what you was going to do, and he just gave it to you.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that gentleman today, because like when I started the organization, I made that post on Facebook, letting people know what I'm gonna do. I didn't have a lawnmower, so I just said, hey, if the first few lawns were people that had their own lawnmower, so if anyone elderly, disabled, a single parent or veteran that had their own lawnmower, I'll mow your lawn for free with your lawnmower. Then I start getting a lot of requests come in, and I said, hey, I need to get a lawnmower. And I didn't have a lot of funds being a college student, so I went on Craigslist looking for a secondhand lawnmower, and I just came across this one. It was a lawnmower, but it was called a weed eater. I guess that was the brand's name. And it was for about $100. It was $100, and I went to the gentleman's house and I said, hey man, I'm gonna start mowing free lawn. I'm mowing free lawns. They said, hey, just take it. I'm still looking for this gentleman today, because imagine if he would have never gave that lawnmower for free, what would have happened? So things just happen. I can't explain it, but they just happen. And I've made posts in the past just trying to find this gentleman. I thought, like, I was really trying to find him just to thank him, because.
Have you ever thought maybe he was? Have you ever thought maybe he was an angel?
Maybe so. You never know. Probably was, because just amazing how it happened. He just gave the loan and said, "Take it." I believe
when talking about secondhand equipment and stuff like that, and people needing to get equipment. I had this idea before about, well, because like I said, the fantasies of getting rich, right, and what you might do if you ever had any money. Like, what if there was a center? Then you run into problems with this. But what if there was some garage where kids could come and like tinker with a lawnmower, like work on it, fix it or whatever, or say, how about what if there was a garage where you had some lawnmowers there that could check out and go do their free lawns with if they didn't have a lawnmower? But I mean, it would only work. It seems like it would only work in a really like kind of where I'm living, in this like really, really small town where everybody already knows each other and already kind of trusts each other because they know who each other are. But But I did think about that with snow blowing equipment for sure. Like if there was kids who wanted to run a snow blower and then they had a place to put it and they could like warm up and go back out again or take turns or whatever, it'd be something to do, like a place to hang out. But I don't know. It's just, giving it a location opens you up to so many more legal complications, that I think that is like a whole nother thing, it's almost like you'd have to have, like, this is where I thought, okay, Rodney, I don't know what you think about this. And this is just throwing something out there, but homeschoolers, like wanting to get their kids involved with this, like they would be that legal barrier for you because they would be the organization. Like if there was a neighborhood, like a small community homeschooling group, and then it wouldn't be you that was taking the responsibility of having some kind of physical center. It would be them. But it would be neat if kids could like learn how to use the equipment, like almost teach each other or whatever. Or the dads were there, and they could go like, "Yes, son, this is how you sharpen the blades or whatever, right? Like here, you kids come over here. I'll show you how to sharpen lawnmower blades." I don't know, but I don't think you would want to take that legal liability on, but a homeschooling group might want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, especially when it comes to fixing equipment, because it can get kind of pricey. I know just the other day, my weed eater started acting up. It wasn't gaining enough power. Well, what I done was I went to YouTube. Everyone goes to YouTube and learn how to fix stuff. So I went to YouTube. I typed in echo mower not having enough power, and I came across one video. It said, if you do this, it will fix it. And I done it, and it fixed the problem that I was having. So maybe, doing more.
Here, let me throw this out there about, you were talking about things that could get you exposure or people who could like speak. Who would be really interested in what you're doing, and you probably haven't ever seen his channel before, but Vice Grip Garage, that guy Derek Beery, he's got 3 sons, and they all work on lawnmowers, and like his channel is working on classic cars, right? Like that's his shtick. He goes around, works on classic cars and also race cars, but he goes and rescues old cars. But he also rescues like old snowblowers out of the ditch and fixes them and makes a video out of it. So, but he's got his son, like one of his sons has his own channel where he's like working on his own dirt bikes and stuff like that. And that Derek Beery, he on Vice Grip Garage, I don't know what's the best way to get a hold of him probably would be to go to his race car events and hand him something printed to look at later because he's a pretty popular guy. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't have any way to get a hold of him, but he would love what you're doing. He also has connections to an American-made lawnmower company, and he's got a video he made where he toured their factory. They invited him to come and tour their lawnmower factory in Missouri, I think it was, and he got some equipment from them. It's like really hardcore professional equipment, and he uses it and he talks about them. So he does have a connection, and those guys wanted to give him lawnmower equipment and have him be their spokesman because they liked his value system, his like family value system. Like they liked his approach and his faith, and they just felt he was a good fit with their company, right?
Yes.
So anyway,
check him out.
Vice Group Garage. I'll type it in the YouTube chat. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, we've got our next item up now. It was up a second ago. There it is, back again. It's a Reaper IO hoodie, one of the OG hoodies. We've got we've got a couple of bids, and we've jumped up to 25,000 Ark right now. So that's looking good.
How many of those are actually left, Steve?
Off the top of my head, we've got quite a few left in size medium, but I think small are all gone. We've got a couple of large, no extra large, and then a couple. We've got a few double XL and triple XL. So yeah, make sure whoever bids on this, we actually got the size for you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to either lose weight or gain it.
Yeah, for sure. If you're a size medium, don't bid. If you're anything else, we got you covered, most probably. Sorry, did I said that the wrong way around? Actually, it's a size. If you're a size medium, bid away. Go crazy. Oh yeah.
Or it
No,
could be a
well,
gift. It could always be a
It could.
gift.
Oh,
Rich,
yeah.
I think you could squeeze into a medium. It'll just look like an Under Armour top. It'll be fine.
Look like little belly crop top on you, Rich, huh?
Yeah, I think a gift option should be considered.
Gift is a good idea for sure. Thank you for that, Stan. Absolutely. But yeah, so we have we have no smalls. We do have medium. We have couple of larges, no extra large. And then we've got double XL and triple XL, a couple of each of those left. They are small fittings, though, just so you know, they are a small fit. So if you'd normally be in an XL, you'd be wise to buy a double XL. But Rich, we do have you covered as well. We got yours and my sizes since we're Blues Brothers, right?
Hey, Rodney, I had another question specific to your resources, your materials. For example, a lot of times there are gas companies, etc., that want to help oil, provide to enable your program to move forward. Are those types of companies willing, or have you sought them out to help you out with providing gas? Or
I haven't, but it will be a good thing to probably do something like that in the future, because especially when I'm traveling to the kids across the country, gas prices seem to go up these days.
Yeah,
and even send $50 gift cards for gas to kids in the 50-yard challenge as a reward. Let's say they're at the halfway point. Maybe send them a $50 gift card, but have a gas company sponsor that card.
absolutely, like a Shell or something. That's what I was thinking. To tap into them, because they usually do have those types of persons who have the responsibility of working with the community relations and would see the utility in making this, this potential offer. And I think the gift card approach might be good for you to do that. I mean, just something to consider. As I said, we have you here and wondered if those were things we could actually actively done.
Yeah,
and
maybe hiring a PR guy that can reach out to a woman that can reach out to those type of companies, saying, "Look, we have this organization." Maybe even send them, I forget the exact term, but have them send them a brief PDF on the organization. And it's about finding those companies that believe in the same thing as us, and we fall in their category when it comes to belief system.
Well, let me talk to you about Virginia, the great state of Virginia. We're not too far from you down there in Alabama, but Virginia's there. We have things like I'm going to be specific, and I know there are other service guys in here, but I'm going to speak about the Marine Corps Reserves. And you have, going back to what Patrick alluded to, and the role the military could potentially play in giving you free resources, because some of these gentlemen are just looking for something to do. And a lot of these gentlemen have a lot of expertise in a whole bunch of different areas, which could and likely would include administrative type stuff. So potentially you have one or two people who could do that work for you at no cost to you, happy to do it. And you end up getting the benefits of something like that. Patrick, are you with me on that? Am I out to lunch?
No, I'm with you for sure.
What about the American Legion? Those guys, they are all about the kids, man.
Yeah. Or you could just start hitting the VFWs, Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yeah. And I think as you spoke, I became more aware of the fact you are a one-man band in regards to all. So we have lots of ideas, but then it's like you don't have the resources necessarily, or the time, or the bandwidth to yourself to make these things a happening event. And that crossed my mind as I was speaking. So that's what I was like, I think if you tap into, like, have a couple of sessions with these groups, honestly, I really think one or two guys will come up to you at the end and say, "Hey, I can help you. I'm retired. I, I can assist you in that area." And outcome is you've got free labor, and in the end, someone who supports your efforts.
Yes.
And it's just probably took you an hour out of your day, because you worked it out with whoever is their secretary of that organization to allow you the time you needed to present your case
Yes.
to them. Yeah, I mean,
This is
I
this is
appreciate
an absolutely great point, Stan. I really like the idea of this. You're helping older generations, older people who a lot of the time are feeling like they are missing out or not worth
Yeah.
anything anymore. You can, if they have an opportunity to do something to help, and then to help the youth of today and pass on their knowledge and stuff as well. Yeah, awesome idea. I love it.
You guys probably know about SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives. You know about them, Rodney? I think
No.
my grandfather actually helped start
No.
that. Yeah, Service Corps of Retired Executives, SCORE. When they were started, they started to be, honestly, I don't know what they're doing right now. I think we did talk to them when we started our business. I'm not sure, but they are advisors for small businesses. But for something like marketing and outreach for something like this, who knows what kind of connections they have. There's chapters all over, but anyway, Service Corps of Retired Executives, who knows what, maybe somebody up there would go like, not only do I have skills, but I have money too. I love what you're doing. Let's partner up. They might, who knows, right?
Yeah, you never know.
It's possible. Yeah. Service Corps of Retired Executives. Because
recognizing, we're here definitely for the goal of generating, donations. Just said, here's an opportunity potentially to throw out some suggestions that will allow you to expand beyond this and to grow your organization more. Just crossed my mind. Don't give me a beat down. Because Steve was giving me a beat down earlier. I'm done with that. Right, Steve?
You got it, buddy.
Okay.
We got Stan giving out some truths there, don't we? That's awesome, Stan. No, that's cool. Love it. We've got a winner there. Manny has got that OG hoodie. Manny, feel free if you could bring that QR code up again, Greg. That'd be awesome. And Manny, don't forget to DM me your address so I can get that to you as soon as possible, and your size too. Don't forget that. I'll need sizes off everybody for everything that's going to be heading your way. But yeah, we're looking good. That's a 40,000 Ark from Manny for that OG hoodie. And as Ace said in the chat, probably be worth a lot more money in the future if things keep on going the way they're going.
Of
you
course,
won't be able to get these anymore.
That does depend on how you wear it.
Of course. Yeah.
Hey, Rodney, I wanted to say one thing. We're all thinking about like, oh, you could do this and that. I'm sure you get a lot of that. But boy, are you ever doing one thing right, which a lot of people don't get right, which your presence on Twitter is just banging. It is awesome. And, a lot of people don't do that. And it's actually one of the most important things you can do. And it's how I'm sure a lot of people you do that on Facebook too, don't you?
Yeah, I do it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I don't see you on the other platforms, but I see you on Twitter. And from the time I started participating in Twitter more, which was I got on there for crypto, I didn't really get on there for any other reason. But yeah, you were already like right up there. And and I just want to say, for a lot of people who have an organization or a business, they're trying to do something like what you're doing, they're trying to get it off the ground, and everybody's like, you got to be on social media or it's just not going to work. And they're like, oh, maybe I'll get somebody to do it. I tried, but my heart's not in it. But you're doing it right. And so that's huge. And so all these other things that people are thinking of, you wouldn't be able to do them if you weren't doing what you're doing on social media. It's really important. And I don't know, are you doing that by yourself?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
Social media plays a huge part. I remember when at first it was just Facebook and Instagram. Then when I started 50 state tours, I had a PR guy mention, look, you need to start a Twitter. And I didn't know what Twitter was. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start a Twitter. And then yeah, it just grew from that, you know. But yeah, Twitter is a huge help. I mean, that's where I got a lot of support, and that's Facebook too,
Absolutely, yeah,
and
yeah.
Instagram. But Twitter, you know, I remember when I had 0 people following me on Twitter, and then just being on the national news network one day, it just exploded, and like wow. Because on Twitter, you get to reach out to like the different reporters and stuff. Reach out to you on Twitter, and that helps out a lot.
That's very cool. Right. The one thing that I didn't ever anticipate, you know, what's happened for me on Twitter, like that I got on there for crypto, and there's a whole world for crypto, of course, you know, like that's a whole world in itself on but then there's these other groups and like little networks of people that are interested in a topic or subject, and they're so like, I don't know, it's really, I guess you know, unfortunately I really like it. It's like, yes, Twitter is my life now, I exist nowhere else, but it's
so before we do our next to the last item, we have a really special guest that I'm going to bring up right now. It's our friend from way down under. How you going,
G'day,
James?
guys. Thank you, Greg. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
G'day, Reapers. Good to see you.
G'day.
I feel like I don't really speak that way, but hey, I love it.
You do.
How's the auction been going, guys? Has it been doing well?
Going really well so far, yeah. Directly above you, we have Rodney. He is wearing the blue cap. That's there. You go right there. Yep. He is our main man. He is the man of the hour, raising men and women lawn care. He does it all on his own.
Fantastic.
He's a superstar, and we love him to bits.
I definitely have voted for raising men in the Ark vote, so it's great to see you. Great to meet you, Rodney.
Likewise, man. Nice to meet you.
Unreal. How you doing, Patrick? Good to see you.
Doing
Looking
good,
schmick.
James.
Awesome.
So since you're here, you gotta sing for us and play that piano, right?
Mate, I've just gotten out of bed. I still need to wake up, let alone warm the voice up. But we'll schedule it in for another time for sure, 100%.
Get some coffee down your neck.
Definitely.
Well, what time is it down under?
It's 9 a.m. on Sunday.
9 a.m. on Sunday. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Our man Stan up there is dreaming of 9 a.m., aren't you? He's been on since 1 a.m. He's in Finland right now, so he's been on.
Yeah.
In a wooden cabin in Finland. Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty nice. Yeah. It's all good. But we've been able to listen and learn a lot about the organization and raising men and women, lawn care, and I think honestly, Rodney's been nothing but gracious and nothing but informative, and the outcome has been generating, I would say, donations that have probably benefited him more long term than he realizes. Fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Patrick, would you agree?
Oh yeah. But I have to ask, James, do y'all even have grass down there, or is it all like?
We've got plenty of it.
Oh, okay.
My lawnmower gets a workout, Patrick.
I guess that's where the snakes hide, right?
That's exactly right. And the spiders, the funnel webs, they just jump out at you.
We had a kid son up in Australia before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a kid son up there. I think that's probably one place I didn't mention. We list all the different countries. I think like 1 or 2 kids signed up in Australia before. They haven't finished yet, but yeah, they signed up.
Oh.
We're gonna have James.
We should move on to our next item then. Hey, this is our second to last item, I believe. We are we're overrunning a little bit. What time we are? We're at like 3 hours and 13 minutes now. So
this is the last one before our
the main
final big item.
The main special super secret special event.
Which I'll give you a little peek here for the last item before we get on to the next to the last one.
What could that be? Held in the hand. Oh my goodness. If I go like this, let me see if I go like that. What
Hey, I like
It'd be
it.
you.
Kind of works, right?
Fake news. So for the next to last item, let's do a 3-pack. We're going to do a hat. And I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, Rodney, but there are other colors that they can choose if they want.
For the camo, I think it's just that camo one. There's other hats, but in different colors.
Yeah. So we're going to give them a choice for whatever color they want.
Okay.
And then t-shirt and a hoodie.
All right.
That's like a full set. Look at that. You could be Mr. or Mrs. Raising Men and Women Lawn Care.
So walk me through this Australia event here, because I hear, maybe since we have you, we don't want someone cutting the grass and running into a poisonous spider, a poisonous snake, a poisonous tree, a poisonous, everything seems so venomous down there. Can you help those of us who have these phobias? And right now, even help Rodney, because he may have 1 or 2 people down there, maybe
Yeah, I'd say full
in
body armor.
danger.
Full body armor is the answer. It's scary. I'll tell you what, even in my garage, like there's little redbacks. They're the smallest little spider, but they can take you out. So it is concerning when you get into long grass. I don't have an answer, unfortunately, except for be careful, be aware of what can kill you, and be conscious of where the closest hospital or emergency center is. It's just how you have to be out here, unfortunately.
Well,
I mean, go ahead, Patrick.
maybe we should just give him like not a flamethrower down there.
Just a scorch earth event when you're cutting grass.
I actually think other than Africa and the Serengeti, I think Australia is probably the most dangerous place to live. Correct? There's more critters there that can kill you than anywhere else.
That's just the hard part. Is most things that can kill you can't see it, or they're sneaking up on you. At least in Africa, you know what's coming, right?
It's like you graduate from a school of, I guess you could say, of poisons, your valedictorian in venoms. I mean, like, it is such, for us up here, we are learning, or I've learned about all of the different types of things there. Have I missed anything? I said spiders, snakes, shrubbery, fish. I'm like, well, what else?
Is there's gators, not gators, crocs, isn't there? Salties and that.
What, the crocs are poisonous?
Salties,
poisonous,
they can be kind of poisonous to your health.
Yeah.
Fake news.
So, is there anything else left? I just don't know.
We've got our hat, t-shirt, and a hoodie being bid right now, and that's on. Rosemary's got a bid of 70,000 on that. Look at that.
Unreal. Rosemary, let's go. Who's going to beat Rosemary? Come on, guys. Second last item before this stream's over.
I love the accent. Yeah. Do we have an accent?
To me, you do.
Of course you do. I think we sound pretty normal. Don't you agree, Rodney? I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
We've got Rich come in now. He's trying to usurp Rosemary there. He's gone up to 80,000.
Let's go. 80,000.
So then, if it's true, and we know it is, you do have grass down there in Australia, sir. So with that assumption, and it sounds like Rodney has at least one, potentially two. Is that correct? 2 individuals who are part of the program?
Yeah, they signed up a long time ago. But yeah, I think they were part of a school. I think it was a teacher that signed up, like 2 or 3 boys. But this was like way 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just stopped.
This is the most poisonous thing we have. A little Boston
Terrier.
Terrier.
Nice.
Her name's Summer.
Summer, of course. So I guess I'm trying to figure out there, Rodney, if that's the case, because I didn't know how that works. Mm-hmm. It's just if they want to do it, wherever they are, they choose to pursue it and
Yeah.
see it to its end. There's no compulsion. It's just the individuals
Yep. So
choose
just
to.
yeah, anywhere in the world, if they want to sign up, they can start today and finish 5 years from now. Like I said, I've seen kids sign up in 2016, 17, and just finished this year. So they have unlimited time that they can finish it. Some kids stick to it, and then you got some kids, they start, then life happens, and you don't hear from them again. But I'm looking for, like I said, looking for ways maybe to, once I have a staff, they can reach out to families that have signed up, but maybe haven't progressed that much. Have them reach out to these families, like, hey, we're just checking in. How can we help you to finish the 50-yard challenge and stuff like that? But that will come eventually once, I'm able to hire our staff and they can reach out to these different families.
Yeah. Got it. And you mentioned traveling to the 50 states. I think you need to put Australia on the list. Just make sure you are safe because of all the craziness that, I've heard rumors of, but it's a beautiful place. Just venomous, but beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, gee, that guy's scared to come down to Australia a little bit. I lived in Japan for 4 years of my life, but I never ventured down. I was so close. I felt like I missed it, in the grand scheme of things. My wife and I said, we'll have to make it another trip. Well, Rosemary, look at that bid there.
Rosemary coming back, 85.
Yes. And is this when looking, and I see Rodney just looks, he's like, yeah, nice. Can you see that, Rodney?
I can see, it comes in a little slow, but I can see it.
Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, very good.
I got a question for you, James. How dangerous are koala bears?
Well, they do have chlamydia, so that is a thing. So koala bears do have chlamydia, but they're not dangerous at all. They're quite friendly. They're quite docile. So
they look ferocious to me. They look terrifying. The way they cling on them branches and stare at you.
I guess it completely depends on your type of interaction with them.
Yeah, I'm stuck on chlamydia.
But they're just eating eucalyptus leaves constantly, just getting drunk practically. So they're living the high life, just enjoying the beautiful weather we have here most of the time. So they're not to worry about. They're fantastic. What's dangerous? Sorry?
With all those dangerous animals you have there, how come koala bears even exist? You'd think they'd just be eaten.
Well, nothing climbs trees really. Like besides the insects, the crocs are probably the crocs and sharks are probably the two biggest worries we have, and they're in the ocean. So everything that's on land is pretty safe. It's just the insects and the snakes that you have to be concerned about, and the spiders.
The sharks scare me because I love the ocean. So I watch them jump out of the water like crazy pole vaulters.
Yeah, well, I live on the beach, so yeah, it's definitely a thought in the back of my mind all the time. But we've got more dolphins and whales and seals here than sharks. I don't think I've ever seen a shark where I'm living.
My favorite Australia fact is that they lost a war to emus. So
it's true. The Great Emu War, we did lose. It's a fertile land. The animals can breed like wildfire here. So we actually have like more camels here than most countries in the Middle East. They breed like crazy here. So we have camels. Yeah. So camel meat is pretty common to be ate here. So a lot of restaurants have camel burgers and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's strange.
Information sharing. We're learning. That's right. Who knew?
You guys play cricket, right? You guys play cricket.
We do play cricket. Yeah, I personally don't.
Have you been to Ayers Rock?
No,
I have not. No, but my in-laws just got back not too long ago.
Been to
I don't think anybody actually understands cricket.
You were a rugby player, weren't
You're
you?
British, mate. What are you talking about?
I can see the game. I can see them playing it, but I have no clue what's going on.
Oh, really? My brother-in-law is obsessed with it, so he's taught me all about it. But I'm a rugby bloke myself, so
yeah, I was a rugby head myself too.
Fantastic. Where'd you play? You're in the front pack for sure.
I was the small, fast guy.
Ah.
Throw me the ball, I run like the wind. Not anymore, though.
So can you help me? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, how we doing on this bid? We got Rosemary at 85. Are we on our... going once? Yep, we're going once on that bid now. Rosemary 85. Anybody going to jump in there and beat Rosemary, or is she going to run away with the three articles?
I wanted
got to
to
wear
get
them all in one go.
Sorry.
Rosemary got to wear them all at the same time.
Some digital perspective for life in Australia. Can you give us
digital perspective?
Yes.
In terms of crypto, in terms of what?
In terms of crypto, as it relates specifically to the concept of what's going on right here.
Yeah. So probably the biggest thing with crypto right now is that our government is working on a CBDC with some ex-Ripple employees, which is quite exciting and interesting to observe it as it progresses. We aren't as anti-crypto as it seems the state is sometimes. We are quite open, but it is still a bit of a undefined area of as far as the law is concerned. My biggest biggest tip for the Aussies out there is still be diligent with your taxes, still pay your taxes. Don't try to avoid those sorts of things, because I do talk to a lot of people who seem like, because it's sort of not governed correctly right now, that they can just get away with it, but that's not the truth. You will be found out. So do the right thing, just save yourself some frustration in the future. But oh, congratulations, Rosemary. It's just sold, has it?
Congratulations, Rosemary. You got it.
Unreal. But yeah, ultimately in Australia, we're quite pro crypto. So it's exciting to see how it grows in the future. Hopefully it's not just a government run part of technology, and it is something that the people can get behind as well. But there's a lot of great guys, especially on the XRPL from Australia, that are building some great things in crypto. So it's an exciting space.
Excellent. And what's next, Mr. Greg?
So as much as I would love to go ahead and announce what the last one is, I'm still waiting on an answer from Patrick before I actually announce it.
Well, see, we're going to show it, but we're not going to show it. You can actually win it, but I'm just going to kind of hold this up here. We'll tilt it down. So I got here about 100 ounces of silver coins that are minted for the first Ascension mint of Reaper coin. But you'll be bidding on number 77 of 200 for a 1 ounce round. And this is the very first exclusive mint. These will be signed by myself and signed by Elaine.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you hold them up again, Patrick? They are beautiful.
I'm just not going to let you actually see them, though, because we're going to tease them.
We just want to see the shiny silver.
Yeah, there's silver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Funny. I love it.
So if you want to know what they look like and hold one and have a 1 ounce round first before anybody else, this is your shot.
So I'm still waiting for Patrick to answer my question that I sent him.
Oh, okay.
And here comes the answer.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll go with one.
All right. We are also going to add one free ticket to Built on XRPL conference coming up in October.
The Reaper conference in Las Vegas.
So
nice.
Unreal.
You get the first silver round, and you also get a free ticket to the conference.
Even if you're coming from
kicked it off. Have you
That
guys
is
seen
huge.
the bids? Let's go. 110K. $130. Whoa. Here they come. Let's go, guys. 135. Rich is ahead now.
And I just want to point this out
150.
for posterity's sake that Ark is sitting right around its all-time high right now.
Unreal. How exciting.
And that's in a bear market, just mind you.
155. Rich G's back ahead. 170. Drew Ankney. I probably can't pronounce that. Let's go, Drew. We need to confirm, Drew. That's 170K, not just 170. 175K from Rich. Let's go. 199. Drew.
Not 200.
Not 200. Do we have 200, Rich?
He's going to party like it's 19.9.
Rich with the 200. There we go.
As we all watch bated breath.
Ooh, he came in hard. 250 from Drew.
Whoa.
Bruh.
Let's go.
I just love that those are all pre-recorded, Greg, but I can still tell it's your voice. And
Yes.
all right. Yeah, 250. And that would put, with that 250 bid, that will put Raising Men and Women's wallet, their Ark wallet, well over 1 million Ark in balance.
Wow.
Appreciate that, man.
So,
Awesome.
congratulations on that.
Is that what they got today too?
So I'm looking at it right now. They're at 845, and then that 250 is the current bid.
So does that cover a plane flight from Australia?
That's not cheap.
He can swim. There's nothing dangerous. He can swim.
Oh,
There's a question from
Christopher had a
Christopher.
question. Yeah.
Nope. Well, you'll see it when you get it in the mail.
As a matter of fact, they may be the one that makes it seen publicly, huh?
Yeah, they're probably going to be the first one to see it.
Something. What was that?
Let's go, guys. 250K going once. And Ace joins. How you doing, Ace? Long time no see.
I wasn't bullshitting when I said I wear this hat all the time, guys. Pay good money for it.
Well, you need
Is that your battle? Is that your battle dog set? That's the battle
Yeah.
dogs one, right?
Hey, I tell everybody. So I tell
Nice.
everybody the story of like Ark and everything. I'm always chilling Reds, but like this hat is like an intro. Everybody asks questions about it, so I'm like perfect.
Do you tell them that you actually like put armor on dogs and send them to war?
Nah, bro. I just tell them you're helping people. I tell them they're helping people and they're doing good things. I'm not trying to play anybody.
Well, you need a matching Raising Men hat.
No, legit. I came in here with like 20,000 Ark, like ready to buy stuff, and then everybody just blew past all the 20K bids, and I'm like, I'm not even in here right now. I'm not. You guys are smoking me. It's horrible.
Well, we're on 250 right now. Still
Yep.
on 250
Going
with Drew.
twice.
I just want to say I'm a little bit bitter right now because I showed up right when you guys are bidding on silver coins. I'm so mad. I can't get this right now.
Yep. Well, if you have an Ascension Genesis NFT, you'll have 24 hours early access to buy the silver coin mints. This is an exclusive series with only 200 of them, and it's our very first mint series. And then after that, it'll be open to the public. And we haven't set the public price yet. It's going to be affordable by comparison to NFTs and things like that, but it'll be they're 1 ounce rounds. So currently silver is in around $30 an ounce, I believe. But this will be a premium priced product. So and it's very one of a kind. It's the first silver rounds ever done this way, and they are stamped 1 through 200, so they're actually numbered individually, as well as an actual pressed tarnish. You'll see them. I think everyone will be real happy with them.
What number is this coin that's being issued for the auction?
77.
So what I was speaking about novelty and how things like you're talking about premium, that's exactly like, this is why I love silver, is because it's a scarce metal. There's not a lot of liquidity in the market. And when you make stuff like this, when you guys are doing this is why I'm really happy that you guys finally like got some silver on the market for this. The premiums on those coins, I don't care if silver's $50 an ounce, like the premium alone is going to be 2 to 3, 4, 5x of what the value of these coins are. So anybody bidding on these tokens or these coins, this is truly an investment. I'm not saying that to like talk shit or just like hype something. That's real. That's a real investment that you guys are making on that. So anybody that acquires that metal, it's an absolute novelty. So congratulations, anybody gets one.
First mint too. Very first mint.
Yep. So as we grow and as Ascension starts its own mint and grows into the behemoth it will become, these will definitely be collectibles. So
only ever going to go up in value for sure. Looks like Drew's got it. Sold to Drew.
It does.
Congratulations, Drew.
So I'm going to do some quick math here. And I don't know, Rodney, if you had any balance of Ark prior to this. But we now have Raising Men and Women is sitting at 1.1 million, just a hair under at 1,095,115.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Wow,
that's outstanding. And I'm just going to do some quick math on how much that amounts to in dollar value today. And of course, it's completely belongs to y'all, but you also know you can vote for yourself with it and increase your donations monthly with it or bi-weekly. Let me pull that up.
I just want to say that, like, you guys know that scene from Batman where Bruce Wayne goes, he's telling Harvey Dent, he's like, one fundraiser with my friends, you'll never need any money again. Like, this is one of those things, Rodney. Like, one fundraiser with us, you won't need anything ever again, bro.
I'm just glad you referenced the only true Batman.
Yeah, you'll be able to vote every 2 weeks now, Rodney, on yourself, increasing the amount that comes to you. So every 2 weeks, we'll talk about it later. We'll go through it with you. You'll go onto the Ark website. I'll throw reminders out to you as I do with Battle Dogs regularly. Don't forget to go vote, and then you can vote for yourself, and that's going to increase your bag tenfold.
So it is still very early for what we're doing in this space, especially with blockchain. We are working on a way to automate it to where you'll be able to vote once, and then it'll just reoccur every single vote. So you won't have to keep going back. But we're still working on the automation part.
That's cool.
But it'll get there soon.
Yeah.
So that's good news, Greg.
Today's dollar value raised for Raising Men and Women was $7,638 worth of Ark donated.
Nice.
So much.
Great job, everybody.
And
that's awesome.
More to come, of course. So
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
we want
so
to thank
let's
all the
start-
architects out there too for putting all this, doing everything that you've done,
Greg,
supporting
Greg,
us. Excellent
have
job,
that?
guys. Thank you.
graphic from before that shows the year-to-date donations for Rodney, because then if we add that, this was 7,638 today, and if we add that to, okay, so this is what it was before, like basically $3,000. So that's like so far gotten over $10,000 from Ark Institute, and that's just all from, you know, individuals. And yeah, isn't this great?
It's beautiful. Thank you guys so much.
It's really great because now it just keeps, it just compounds, you know, it just compounds and builds and compounds and builds. That's the Reaper economic system. It's not just one thing one time. As soon as you're in, it just keeps going and it keeps piling on and piling on and piling on. So.
Absolutely,
I feel
well said.
I feel very, very good about this investment that the community made in you today.
Yes.
Because you mentioned that you have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes.
Therefore, we know that you have an understanding of what money is and how it works.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we gave you today. So
greatly
the
appreciate
Reaper, that Patrick can speak on this more than I can, but the Reaper economic system was, for the most part, built off of that idea, off of that book.
Wow. Yep. It's beautiful.
It was great. It was great meeting you, Rodney.
Great meeting everyone, and greatly appreciate you guys' support for the organization. Yeah, I'm lost for words. You know?
I want to thank Stan for coming in late at night. It's what? 1:41 in the morning. Oh, 2:41 in the morning.
Three
now.
I feel really lucky to have met you, Stan. This is great. You know, we were just hanging out all afternoon here. Now it's what? And now it must be. Is it like literally 3 in the morning?
It's almost 3.
Oh man, you're brave.
What a trooper, man! I'm so glad. I met you.
Bro, where are you at? Stan, where are you at right now, bro?
I'm in Finland.
Oh, that's dope. Hey, it's cold over there, huh? It's not hot.
No, it's comfy. It's comfy. It got up to 80. It's got up to like 22 Celsius today.
Okay, so the only redeeming thing about Texas heat is that Texans love sweet tea, and I didn't realize that was a thing. But like sweet tea on a hot day is like a godsend. Like
it is. Yeah.
Sweet tea and brisket.
Get out to Dallas and you ask for sweet tea, they look at you like you're nuts. So you got to be kind of not there. But Stan, it was great to meet you, man. You're awesome, dude.
A pleasure meeting all of you. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
It wasn't just that you were here today. You also were around for a lot of different planning and organizing of this. And I really, you know, whatever contributions that you made just by your presence has been really appreciated. Because, you know, it's always nice. Like, I mean, you know, here we have, for the most part, everybody here is like, you know, board members of ARK. There's other people here. Our lovely Ace, he's not a board member, and Rodney's not a board member, and James isn't a board member. But the rest of us, we all know each other, you know. And so when you brought some fresh energy, just a fresh face, and fresh energy, and all, you know, it really adds a lot to the atmosphere. So thanks.
Well, my pleasure.
You got me laughing from the minute that you walked in the room, so I appreciate that because I need it.
Hey, Greg, right at the end, can you throw up that QR code one more time? Just make sure whoever needs it's got it before we say our goodbyes and stuff.
And a big shout out to all our donors.
Thank
you. Drew, I know you hit it out of the park on that last one, and I missed some of the beginning of it. But I know, you know, everybody that came here to donate to Raising Men is doing it from a place of love because we have a beautiful community. So, you know, we love you guys because you make us who we are, and you empower us to do this for Rodney, who's doing this for the kids. And, you know, it's a circle, and we're all giving back. So thank you.
God bless you guys. And until the next auction.
Thank you guys again so much.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you, James.
Bye. Pleasure.
And thanks for those.